$1,000. Just enter this nationwide keyword on our website, Bills. That's Bills. Enter it now.
FoxPHLGambler.com. Once again, FoxPHLGambler.com right now.
Recapping that special night in New Orleans. This is the Daily Ticket with Sean Brace.
Bring it on in. And a good afternoon, everybody. Smile is still 10 feet wide, and it will be for quite some time. Today, though, we show appreciation. We try to break down the autopsy of a blowout. A blowout, Sean Barnard, who joins me from the jump here today on this beautiful Tuesday afternoon in Delaware Valley. A blowout that 126 million people tuned into. God bless. Ain't that a beautiful thing? As Mark Henry Jr. pointed out on social media, 126 million people witnessed a murder. You got to love it. Sean Barnard, how we doing today, sir?
Doing great, Sean Brace. I do feel like the weekend is finally catching up to me today. This is the first time. I feel like I've been everywhere these past couple of days, living it up, celebrating, reveling in the Eagles' victory there. So feeling it a little, but I'm up. I'm ready to roll and excited to break it down from every angle here.
This is crazy again, but it's another stretch where everybody is sick. Even I'm fighting something right now that just won't leave me. And I haven't
mind over matter.
We've been working, but I haven't been doing too much out of the ordinary. And everybody is sick. My babysitter, mom's sick. I feel like I've had the sneeze for the last 20 minutes and I can't do it right now. Just odd to me.
Just wait till next week after the parade, man. It's going to be the entire statewide sickness here.
All right, so let's dive into that real quick because, of course, things have changed.
Yes.
This was not originally planned for Friday, the parade. And I'm all about a Friday parade, but I also do know that it is Valentine's Day. Now, I would imagine that most couples are probably joined at the hip and are both Eagles fans. So therefore, reservations should be very easy to break off and to call in hot route at the line of scrimmage and audible. Omaha, the Eagles won the Super Bowl. We're not going to Capitol Grill. It is what it is. But there are people that love Valentine's Day. Valentine's Day is a wonderful holiday, especially when it is on a Friday. So you get those extra reservations. You got the babysitter in place, whatever it may be. I'm curious, Sean, what did you have planned for you and your lovely lady on Valentine's Day? Are you sticking to those reservations? Are you doing the doubleheader? Because that's what I'm hearing from people in this building.
Wow.
Specifically Buster. And I'm not trying to throw my man underneath the bus, but Buster at the parade and then Buster at night celebrating Valentine's Day. Yeah, that's going to be a fun sight.
Yeah, so I'll preface this with myself. I lucked out a little bit here on the standards of the original game plan pre-parade. Here is there's an event at Xfinity Live Friday night through, I believe it's through Summer House. My girlfriend Maggie, she's all about all her reality TV shows, and somebody's running a DJ set and performing for Valentine's Day at Xfinity Live. So we already had the tickets for that, doing the hotel that night, staying over in Philly. So we're just, expanding a little bit, getting in there Thursday night. We'll be ready for parade Friday morning and then carry that right into the night. So kind of extended the celebrations a little bit, but luckily these were pretty easy punches to roll with on my end here.
Wait, does your wife got you going seeing a dude DJ by the name of Kyle Cook?
That might be his name. Yeah, that sounds like it.
Who's this guy? Who's Kyle Cook? What's his deal?
It's the dude from the Summer House is the show. I know that for sure. So yeah,
the hell is Summer House?
Yes, it's been on while I've been around. It's reality television. What it is, okay. Exactly. The by the books what you would expect from reality TV. But yeah, he's performing at
Montauk. Ooh, lovely place, a beach town on the eastern point of Long Island. Affluent New Yorkers head during the summer to have a good time. It almost looks like it is a reality show, but it's not. I don't know if that makes sense.
Yeah. I think they're all like that to me.
Yeah, they're all scripted to a point. Yes.
Yeah.
You're right. Like this dude Montano, or whatever his name is.
Everywhere.
Like Come on, man. That thing is so scripted. It's absurd. They got the camera angles as he's running down the beach. It's anyways, whatever. We are way inside baseball at this point in time. Now, that's cool. All right. So Kyle Cook and Xfinity Live, you lucked out. Love to get the pulse of the people out there at Fox PHO Gambler. What are you doing for Valentine's Day now? Does this throw a little wrinkle into your plans? Do you plan on doing the double header? Are you adding to it? What is the breakdown when it comes to all things parade being held on Friday? Now, we are expecting snow today. That was originally scheduled for Thursday, from what I understood. That's what I heard before the Super Bowl was played. And then this weather came in, and we were talking about possible snow Tuesday night, Wednesday, or Thursday. So they just bumped it to Friday, and I'm all about it. So Friday celebration, Friday parade, let's do it. We're going to be down there with the people, iHeartRadio, Q102, as I said, Buster, myself, the Gambler gang. We'll see what happens. Hopefully Beef can find his shirt by then, and we'll have some fun on Friday. All right, let's go ahead and reminisce a little bit, Sean Barnard, because there's a lot that I want to still discuss from the Super Bowl, but you did not have an opportunity to hop on the show yesterday, so allow me to open up with you here, sir. And, look, it's an easy one to break down. It was a dominating game, but what impressed you the most from the Eagles' perspective, and what disappointed you the most from the Chiefs' perspective? That's an interesting spot to start for us here on those two things.
Just the foot on the gas mentality from the Eagles was the number one thing that stood out to me. The kill shots that Nick Sirianni was sending, the Devontae Smith long touchdown, the defense showing up possession after possession, never letting off Patrick Mahomes, constantly living in that backfield there. I could not be more impressed with just the complete performance from this Eagles team. And I kind of said this while watching. If you had asked me to lay out my best case scenario, my ideal game script for how that game could go, that still would not have been to the level of what we actually saw take place on the field. So shout out to Jalen Hurts. He made the most of his moment. I thought that was a really cool story for him, everything that he's been through, and still the doubt kind of seeping in surrounding him, and him looking every bit of the Super Bowl MVP caliber quarterback that he always has been there. So shout out to Jalen for making the most of the moment. Shout out to the defense for showing up and really being the story of the game. And we kind of said all week, the Eagles are the better team. It's just this Patrick Mahomes voodoo magic. And you know what? They found a way to put an end to that pretty quick. So I was thrilled by the performance.
Yeah, it was the lady in the stands that was stabbing him. Did you see that voodoo doll?
I would like whoever's doing that for Joel Embiid to lay off that, though. Yeah.
Oh, don't worry. We're going to talk about the Sixers before we get out of here. We got Sean Barnard for an hour, who was out in the town last night. Can't wait to hear about Drew Hanlon's book signing, who had Kelly Oubre and Tyrese Maxey in attendance. I thought that was pretty cool. Where was that held at? In Jersey or Philly?
Philly. It was at the Barnes & Noble right in Center City.
Nice. Look at you crossing the bridge. Packed house?
I felt bad. I got there a little late. Like, I missed Maxey and Oubre by literally 5 minutes when I got there. So it kind of had emptied out by the time I got there, but got a chance to chop it up with Drew. Met up with Josh Reynolds for the first time, who's a really good Sixers follow guy who's been around the community for a while here. A really nice guy. So got to chop it up with those guys. Drew was really cool, but seemed like it was a pretty good turnout before I got there. I kind of missed most of the madness.
Did you buy the book?
I did.
Good.
Yeah. Right. Gave you a little signing. I'm excited to read it.
What's the book about? Like him just, teaching everybody?
Yeah, it's called Stop BSing Yourself. So it's kind of like a little bit of a motivational mindset book type thing. There's a foreword written by both Jason Tatum and Joel Embiid. So excited to check that out, dive into it, and kind of see the story. But that's sort of my take on it.
Nice, man. All right. Well, looking forward to hearing a little bit more about that. Looked like it was a cool time. All right, Sean Barnard joining us here again. Like you pointed out, we are going to have the Appreciation Tuesday here for all things Eagles, and we're going to open it up, and you can go ahead and tell me that you want to show some appreciation to the beer vendor at the link that took care of you and poured your beer a certain type of way every single Sunday throughout the course of a season, your parking lot, your season ticket, person that you speak out to from the Eagles perspective, anybody on the staff, front office, you name it. It could be a TV announcer, it could be anybody, but I want to open it up Appreciation Tuesday here. And I think, Sean, it's real easy. Exactly what you said. For me, I can't not stop thinking about Jalen Hurts.
Yeah.
Pause. What that dude has been through, what he's heard, the ridiculous statements, the way he has played. And, I continue to hear Mark Henry Jr. in the back of my mind, where not always a good thing to, but again, he's coming up a little bit later, but where he said Jalen is graded differently by everybody when it comes to NFL standards. And it was so true, and it's so evident throughout the course of the full regular season into the playoffs. Even though they win by double digits, not good enough. And then the same thing would happen to the Buffalo Bills, yet it was good enough for Josh Allen. And, everybody wants to come back to how great this roster was, and nobody's going to argue that. But at the end of the day, man, like, stop taking down Jalen Hurts just because he has a great team to work with. That dude is the truth. And even today, as you said, I tune in TV, and they're still dogging him. People on my timeline, Cowboys reporters telling me that Dak Prescott is still a better quarterback. Let me say that out loud. Dak Prescott is still a better quarterback than Jalen Hurts, this yam, this dude who has a good following, who writes for The Athletic down there in Dallas, if I'm not mistaken, who does a lot of things out there. I remember his name. He always pops up from time to time and with Dallas affairs. But Clarence Hill Jr., he's got 87,000 followers, part of DLLS. He's been writing about the Cowboys since 97. Like, I respect your opinion, but dude, you can't say that.
Yeah, I don't respect the opinion. That's a clown take.
No. I respect his opinion on other things. No,
Sure.
not this. My bad. Like, you can't say this. This is no. You can't type that. No.
Football games are not won on spreadsheets, Sean Brace. That I don't care about the metrics or whatever you want to throw me for Dak Prescott stats. Jalen Hurts just won a Super Bowl, man. And for starters, like, I've been a Jalen believer and a guy who stuck up with him for a while. To kind of articulate like my real feelings on like him directly here, what I know about Jalen Hurts and why I appreciate him as a quarterback more so than so many guys across this league, I know and feel strongly about him that he will be 100% of who he is. He's going to max out his potential as a human being, as a football player, by putting in all the work, doing all the right things. So yes, you can critique little arm talent things or certain throws. He's not the most accurate thrower in the world. But what I know about Jalen Hurts is he's going to bring 100% of what he has. He's going to put in all the prep work, do everything possible to put him in the right spot, put the team in the right spot. That's exactly what happened in the Super Bowl. And I also thought it's been pretty cool to see him let his guard down a little bit in a way that really we never see from Jalen Hurts. I've seen him smile more this past week than I've seen in like the last 9 years of him as a football player and in the public eye. And kind of cool some of the questions of him reflecting on, like, all his quotes that they're throwing back and trying to get keep the main thing, and him sort of open up, being like, I'm the same kid who went to the national championship loss. I'm the same kid who went to the national championship and got benched, who had to transfer, who was a second round pick, who started as a backup quarterback in this league and earned his stripes every bit of the way. So this was his moment. He made the most of it, and he should get a little bit more praise than seems to be the case because he is that dude.
Yep. And I'll even take it a step further because it needs to go further. When you are the king of it all and you do win the MVP in the Super Bowl, when you do get to two Super Bowls, period, point blank, 5 years into your career, this guy is well on his way to a Hall of Fame career.
Yeah.
Bet your ass on that. That's one.
26 years old.
Yes, I think we should all be in agreement on that one. And if you don't, then I'm going to read right through it and just call you a hater, and we're going to keep it moving. Everyone's entitled to their own opinion, even when it's wrong. But I want to take it a step further and say, like, things haven't always been the smoothest with this franchise, right? Like, yes, sure, Howie Roseman has been, hitting the ball out of the yard 7 out of 10 times, it seems. Jeffrey Lurie seems to be getting these coaches right. It still doesn't mean that everything is all smooth as can be, and they never have to, deal with rocky waters or navigate, some bumpy air in the atmosphere, anything along those lines. So what I mean by that is the culture. When it comes back to that word and it gets tossed around a lot, like, yeah, I get it. Howie Roseman, he's the man. Jeffrey Lurie is the guy up top, no doubt about it. But Nick Sirianni, what is he bringing for the culture? I know he's probably doing a lot more behind the scenes, motivating. He is that player's coach. He still comes off as a player. If you needed Sirianni to give you a couple snaps at wide receiver, I'm sure he would do it right now. But to me, it all comes back to Jalen Hurts. Jalen Hurts is the sole reason why I think, or at least number one on the list, that we can look at the Eagles franchise top to bottom and talk about that C word and how important it is to keep those beliefs, the group of just egos in that locker room, all pointing in one direction and having everybody strive for the bigger prize at the end. Like, it's all easy to put on a piece of paper. It's easy to throw out there as a hashtag. But man, when you're talking about the off season and Saquon Barkley gets signed and he hops a flight and goes and joins Jalen out in California. Like, that doesn't just happen overnight. That's not something that, a quarterback or a player can just say, you know what, this is what I'm going to start. No, that's what Jalen's been doing.
Yep.
Oh, Saquon, you're the new man to the nest. This is how I operate. Come on out here. And those things matter in the long game, because you look at all these franchises, and I hate to bring it up because it's the top of mind for everybody, but look at the Rodgers situation.
Sure.
Look what's going on right now, where the New York Jets are saying, thanks, but no thanks. Like, culture is so important, and Jalen is the most important piece. Can't talk today, to the puzzle that is the Philadelphia Eagles culture.
Yeah, and there's a really cool story. Shout out to Chris Long in the Greenlight podcast that him and Bo Allen told, that they were in the locker room after the NFC Championship game and the Eagles party, and he was like, they looked incredibly confident. And they told a story that Chris Long went up and said something, Jalen, just congrats, go finish it. And Jalen looked right back at him and said, it's already written, and continued on. And that's just kind of like how grounded this guy is. The mentality that he approaches life and football with is really impressive stuff, and well wise beyond his years at the age of 26. So this is only the start, as he's been very open about saying, and I love that he's approaching things like that, that this is still the beginning for his story, this Eagles story. But he is the face of the franchise in every single way that you would hope to be the case for. And you nailed it with some of the other egos and big personalities that are on this team. It does not work if you have, say, an Aaron Rodgers at quarterback, if AJ Brown's the guy kind of going through his antics, which he does at time. And I love AJ. Everyone should. It's worth putting up with. It's not anything that is nearly as detrimental as made out to be. But the point being, there's still balancing act with those kind of things. And the defense, the CJ Gardner-Johnsons, the Jalen Carters, there's a lot of loud personalities on this team. And having a guy that is always the most cool, calm, collected guy in the room is really important to this Eagles franchise. So shout out to Jalen. And he went about it the right way, man. This dude has earned his stripes at every single level, done it the right way, taking the long path a lot of times, the transfer, the playing a backup. Shout out to Jalen Hurts, man. This is his moment.
Well said. The Metro has I always pick up the Metro at the coffee shop inside here by iHeart on City Line Avenue. And we know some people that do some stuff over there for the Metro, and pick this one up. It's the commemorative poster edition. And I can't get enough of Jalen Hurts with that Lombardi. I can't get enough of that picture. I posted on my Instagram this morning. It's just a smile 10 feet wide. There's a lot of people out there that are in our camp. There's a lot of people that have never doubted this man. I have not once doubted Jalen Hurts on the airwaves. It was never about Jalen Hurts. Even last year, has there been moments where you're like, man, you can't turn the football over. You got to stop that. You're better than that. Of course. But there was never not one moment since I've been on the air and Jalen Hurts has been wearing an Eagles uniform that I said, nah, this dude can't get it done. Putting the ceiling on what he's capable of. Not once did I ever. Always thought of him in the manner that he could win a Super Bowl. So excited that he was able to get across the finish line. Nick Sirianni has proven me wrong. I'm happy about that. I'm so stoked to be wrong about that. Great. He's now proven me wrong 2 times. So guess what I am not going to do moving forward? Doubt Nick Sirianni. He's earned that one.
For the people who think his personality is too loud, too confident, too, overbearing, just buckle up now, man, because now he's got a ring on his finger and has every right to run the victory laps.
So good. All right, with that, well, Nick Sirianni and Howie Roseman, it was already arguing on the timeline today because everyone thinks they're insiders. Everyone thinks that they're Mr. NFL Network because they might listen to a radio station or a podcast. And I just know, like, even though something might make so much sense on surface level of a decision, a hiring, a firing, whatever it may be in professional sports, that doesn't mean it always plays exactly out like that. There's always the devil in the details. There are things that don't get reported. There are plenty of people that don't leak things to the media. So everyone that wants to revisit what took place with, of course, the whole deal last year with the coordinators and how we got to Kellen Moore and Vic Fangio. Ultimately, Fangio, they wish they could have had him as part of this team as the defensive coordinator before he was named that. We know that. Kellen Moore has been a name that's been out there. I think it was a pretty easy hire last year in one man's opinion. And to have Howie Roseman and Nick Sirianni probably come to the table and say, yeah, get him. I think that was pretty evident, right? Like, with the names that are available, you knew what Kellen Moore's been through after being fired at multiple stops. That's a guy that's proven his worth and just had some tough luck. And as I said, had to lose his gig in Dallas, had to lose his gig with the Chargers, but moved on and then gets the opportunity to take on this role with the Philadelphia Eagles. Now he's going to New Orleans. And good luck to Kellen Moore. For the people that were worried about him being distracted, I just never liked it. I hated it. I wanted the NFL to do something about the timing, and I still will stand by that. But it was never about Kellen Moore. It was about everything as a whole. Anyways, Kellen Moore will now be the next head coach for the New Orleans Saints, and he's got a big old mess down there off of Bourbon Street there, Sean. And no, I'm not talking about the Super Bowl madness. They were 5-12 last season, which was their most losses in a single season since 2005. Remember who he's replacing. They fired the head coach after week 9 last year, and they have an estimated $54 million in cap space. So CBS Sports writes, getting this team turned around in one offseason could be a big ask. Good luck, Kellen. Quickly, 60 seconds on this one. If you're Kellen Moore and the price tag is more, understood, no pun intended, is it as easy as, hey, man, you got to take the gig, it's more money? Or is there something in your mind after coming off of a Super Bowl victory with this team, for this franchise, with these fans, maybe there was a chance that he could stay in Philadelphia?
Yeah, and I get we're watching from the sideline. It isn't our lives, so we're not exactly the guys to speak on this. But I honestly, if I was Kellen Moore, I would have come back to the Eagles, run this back for another season, and taken a little bit of the Ben Johnson route, what we saw in Detroit, for him having plenty of opportunities to be a head coach, but really choosing that right opportunity. For Kellen Moore specifically, I don't think the Saints team is it. And I think he could do the best job of being a head coach in the world. That's still not going to be a very good football team next year. They got to find a quarterback. They got plenty of money that they got to move around. There's some talent on this roster. It's not a nothing team, but it's not the easiest challenge to work into. So this Eagles team really isn't going anywhere. I think Kellen Moore could have had plenty more options if he had come back for one more season. But with that being said, there are a finite amount of head coaching opportunities. There's only 32 spots of those. And if that's what you want to do, I can't hate you for walking away and jumping on it either.
Yeah, and I don't think anybody is, but you're right. I think there was a discussion to be had, and financially, look, I really want to know what these guys are making. They said the who the hell is the dude that got the Jacksonville Jag show? Or
Duval, Liam Cohen.
Yeah, Cohen. Thank you. $14 million is being reported. You're telling me Duval is making $14 million as his first opportunity to be a head coach in the NFL? Wow. And I need to know these lists.
You know who his college roommate was, by the way?
I think I've heard this before, but go ahead.
Victor Cruz.
Yes, I did hear this. Yeah. How about that? Look, Vic Fangio, you know, Liam Cohen, good luck. 14 million. I don't know if I would have went that path with the Jacksonville Jags, but if I'm him, that's a big price tag. Similar to this spot, I would assume the New Orleans Saints are dangling a pretty decent check. Sure. Kellen Moore at this point in time is a damn good get from the Saints' perspective. Can't get any hotter.
Yeah, I'm certainly not hating on the Saints for attempting to hire him. And by the way, for all like the distraction conversation, I agree with you that I wish the NFL would do something about the timeline. But I have a lot of respect for the way Kellen Moore kind of handled business this week. And especially with the added layer of physically being in New Orleans for this, it gets difficult. But every question that he was asked about it, thought he did a pretty nice job of just being like, I'm locked in for this Super Bowl. We'll have those conversations when it's the time. And obviously he brought his A game when the moment mattered and when the game was here. So I have nothing but respect for the way Kellen Moore went about it. He walks away with a ring on his finger, and he's permanently stamped and all good in my book by that definition.
No, you're right about that. And we'll see what happens down there. Don't know what type of money he's going to be making. But at the end of the day, we got a bunch of new head coaches out there in the NFL. And if I could just give Kellen Moore one word of advice, do not go down to New Orleans and say anything along the lines of
Duval.
Yeah, like it just, look, I get it. You want to talk about beignets. You want to talk about
that?
Oh, there you go. Yeah. You go down there, you rip on the Falcons, praise up Drew Brees, praise up that era of New Orleans Saints, play when they were awesome and competing for Super Bowl championships. And of course, the top dog in the NFC. And you say, yeah, we need to get back to that spot. Don't do anything along the lines of
Duval.
Just whatever you do. 14 million when that guy's rolling out that. It's unbelievable.
I will say I am a little bit of a believer in him as a head coach. I think the Jags are going to have a tough time. I'm not a Trevor Lawrence guy. I think that there's some real issues with that roster as a whole. But I think the track record for bouncing back from a tough press conference isn't the worst thing in the world. And I think he's going to be just fine in the long run, even with it being pretty far from an ideal start there.
Kellen Moore, now the youngest coach in the NFL, 35 years old. Moore will be taking over the title of the youngest coach in the NFL. Saints' new head coach turns 36 in July. Sean Barnard, he's the youngest. Do you happen to know who the oldest head coach is?
Let's see. I know Belichick hung on to that for a while. Would it be Andy Reid at this point?
Let me go ahead and give you some game show. Let me give you some game show music.
Uh-oh.
You guessed Andy Reid.
I did. Big
as
Red.
head coach. Sir, that is incorrect.
Mm.
Andy Reid is 66. This guy is pretty damn old. New hire,
It's Pete
Sean Barnard.
Carroll. It's Pete
There
Carroll.
it is. Congratulations. Come
There
on.
we go.
Get your prize.
Almost got me with him making his return. I was like, there we are.
There you
There
go.
we are.
A little sneaky
Yeah.
on the daily ticket here. All right. From the hiring of Kellen Moore, let's keep it moving. And again, we're talking all things Super Bowl. Love to get you involved out there at Fox PHL Gambler, at Fox PHL Gambler, of course, streaming on YouTube, all of that, and then some. A lot of topics to get involved with right from the jump. We're going to keep it moving. Got Sean Barnard for the full hour. Have to talk about the Sixers. Have to talk about Luka's debut with the Lakers last night. Are the Lakers contenders to win a championship? How good are the Nuggets? I know there's a lot of people out there that haven't been paying too close attention to the NBA or college hoops for that matter too as well. So this week we're going to do a little bit of a catch up. And I said, you know what, today, no better time than right now with the All-Star break fast approaching. Sixers have back-to-back games and then they're done. Yeah, nobody's going to the Bay to be playing in the All-Star game. No shock there. So I figured it was a good time to catch up with you, Sean Barnard, and all things NBA. But again, the Super Bowl is fresh on our mind and it's Appreciation Tuesday. Who do you want to send a shout out to? Who you appreciating right now on Appreciation Tuesday? I appreciate it. I said Jalen Hurts. Sean Barnard, where you going with that one?
I'll throw the love to Nick Sirianni here for kind of the same reason that I just don't think he gets the level of flowers that he deserves. And the bottom line is he's the guy who steered the ship to exactly where it needed to go here.
Accountability, right?
Yes. Yeah.
Yeah, for all the antics, for everything that you want to push against him, the dude gets his guys fired up and playing in the biggest moments, and nothing speaks larger volumes to that than what we saw on Sunday. So shout out to Nick Sirianni, appreciative of him.
All right. And with that, we're going to go ahead and step aside for just a second, but we'll keep the Sirianni conversation coming on the other side because we also have another game. This one's taking over the world. Who had a rougher night? Ryan Beef Coyle or head coach Nick Sirianni? We're going to go back to back with both of those gentlemen speaking on the microphone yesterday. And I'll tell you what, one of them sounds absolutely rough. The other one sounds like he didn't get any sleep. So we're going to determine who sounds worse off with a little fun on the other side. Who had a worse night after the Super Bowl championship? Once again, Philadelphia Eagles are kings of it all. Or we were talking about it all right here on The Gambler. 4 o'clock got Luke Arcaini again. 5 o'clock, Mark Henry Jr. Other side, Sean Barnard staying with me. We'll switch gears and get on over to the NBA, talk a little 76ers, but the NFL conversation, the Super Bowl parade, Valentine's Day. What are you doing with your reservations? All that and more. So, Daily, take it back after this.
Fox Sports Radio, The Gambler. Now, total traffic for Philadelphia.
Which the Schuylkill westbound University to Warden City to Belmont, eastbound so Montgomery Drive to south, the Vine Expressway westbound heavy 95 to the Schuylkill, eastbound so Schuylkill to Broad, 95 northbound so going Allegheny up to Bridge. I had to tell a total traffic.
This report is sponsored by Bank of America. What if your business could see beyond what is and into what can be? Whether you're a local shop or global enterprise, Bank of America gives you access to a range of business solutions to help make every move matter. What would you like the power to do? Find out how at bankofamerica.com/banking for business.
If you have unfiled taxes or are in debt to the IRS, this is important news. Did you know the IRS has programs specifically designed to help people struggling with tax debt? Powerful tax assistance programs that can save you thousands if you qualify. No one knows these programs better than the experts at Optima Tax Relief, America's most trusted tax resolution firm, A-rated by the Better Business Bureau. Their award-winning team of tax attorneys and licensed professionals have resolved over $1 billion of tax debt for their clients. One call to Optima can start the process, helping to end your worries about wage garnishment, asset seizure, and other IRS actions. Make sure you're getting the best options wants to solve your tax problems. Call the experts at Optima today for a free confidential consultation.
Call 800-354-2840. 800-354-2840. 800-354-2840.
Optima Tax Relief.
Some restrictions apply. For complete details, please visit OptimaTaxRelief.com.
See DallasStillSucks.com for details. Gary Barbera Jeeps are super cheap during Super Cheap Jeeps Week. Hello, right, Superbirds Coach Nick? Boy, I guess. Jeeps, Jeep. Gary Barbera's making the Big Easy Big Game playoff payoff. Jeep Grand Cherokees. Yo, 16,666. And that's why Super Coach Nick picks Barbera.
This is Coach Sirianni. Is Barbera the best?
Boy, I guess. Or drive a super discounted Barbera Ram like our man Brandon Graham. Boy, I guess. Barbera's got Big Easy Credit, Philadelphia's Credit Connection, and super cheap Jeep Grand Cherokees.
A crazy 16,666.
Tell him, Superbirds Coach Nick.
Barbera the best?
Boy, I guess.
Jeep Grand Cherokee 16,666. Well qualified class.
Hello, yeah.
DallasStillSucks.com.
Barbera! Gary Barbera's super goal to stay in control of the most Jeeps sold.
16,666.
Boom shakalaka.
Jeeps cheap.
Super cheap.
Is Barbera the best?
Hang on, you tell him, Brandon Graham.
Boy, I guess.
Go Birds. I know, yeah. DallasStillSucks.com.
Want weight loss meds like Ozempic for less than $3 a day? Future Health, the best weight loss medication provider online, delivers fast. So go to tryfh.com now.
Tryfh.com.
Future Health is not a healthcare services provider. Meds are prescribed at provider's discretion. Results may vary. Sponsored by Future Health.
On Saturday, February 22nd at 1:30 p.m. Eastern, it's the Pro Volleyball Federation's first All-Star match. The league's biggest stars will clash in a can't-miss event hosted in the Indy metro area, home of the Indy Ignite. Catch every serve, spike, and save live on CBS. Don't miss this historic showdown of volleyball's finest. The Pro Volleyball Federation All-Star Match on February 22nd at 1:30 p.m. Be there.
If you feel like owning a home is out of reach, Rocket is here to give you back the keys. Because they believe everyone deserves a shot at the American dream. Own the dream. Visit Rocket.com. That's Rocket.com.
Favorite station, preset. Favorite artist, preset. Favorite podcast, preset.
We know you're loving the new preset feature on the new and improved iHeartRadio app. See it now, along with even more great features. It's everything you love about your car radio and the palm of your hand.
iHeartRadio. Hey, nice job, Pete. I like those clean lines. Fellas, do we have anyone that can get to Greenport today?
At Corey's Landscaping, the staffing plan is in the weeds.
Anthony, we need that leaf blower over here. 3 more new customer requests just came in. Who wants to work some overtime?
He needs to dig up quality landscapers and fast.
I need Indeed.
Indeed you do. When you sponsor a job on Indeed, it's easier for talented candidates to find it, which makes it easier for you to hire them. Visit Indeed.com/credit and get $75 towards your first sponsored job. Terms and conditions apply.
Hey, man, you all right? Need me to call 911? No. Call Top Dog Law. Get top dollar for your accident at topdoglaw.com. Once again, that's topdoglaw.com.
Fly, Eagles, fly.
So here's Mahomes. What's he got left? Pressure. Oh, decked. Ball is out. Milton Williams with a strip sack. Philadelphia takes over.
Recapping that special night in New Orleans. This is the Daily Ticket with Sean Brace.
Appreciation Tuesday. Sean Brace, Sean Barnard kicking off the day here on a Daily Ticket. Tomorrow, just to let you know, be recording from the house. Beef and I heading up to the main line. We're going to catch Nova and St. John's tipping off at 6 o'clock. Of course, hear the game on the Gambler pregame coverage tipping off at 5:30. John Jansen back at the studio. Ryan Fenton, Whitey Rigsby on the call. Ricky Pitino in the house on the main line. Sean Bernard was able to get Beef to roll with me. How about that? Looking forward to it.
Yeah, Johnny's a rolling too. So shout out to Pitino. And the quote that I think sums up Rick Pitino, by my money, I think he's still the best coach in college basketball right now. And the quote that fired me up, which I think tells the story of who Rick Pitino is, they asked him at this point of the season, if you were 12-1 in conference play, what would you say coming into the year? And he replied, I would ask how the F we lost that one game. And I think that tells the story right there.
You know, way back, man, I saw Pitino get upset at Louisville in East Carolina, 2004 4-ish. I forget the year. Had to be right around there. 3, 4, whatever it was. That was a great little run. I was able to get to a few games, see some good ones. Dwayne Wade with Marquette.
Nice.
That was a fun one to watch too as well. And yes, there's no doubt in my mind Rick Pitino is one of top 4 college basketball coaches still in the game. Like, we know what comes with the name of Pitino. We know what he did and got in trouble with and what Louisville was doing behind the scenes. And, that's for another day. But when it comes to X's and O's and a guy that's a master recruiter and a guy that can get the most out of his team on game day, Rick Pitino is that dude. And it's no surprise how he has St. John's just rolling right now. Top 10 team. And tomorrow's a huge game for both teams.
Yeah, and my challenge to you, Sean Brace, tomorrow, just lock in on the way they rotate defensively, St. John's. It's unbelievable the way that they basically just like crowd up the entire half court, the way they're flying around, buzzing. It's really impressive stuff. Some of the best defense I've seen from a college basketball team. So definitely key in on that. That's something that always catches my eye.
Do you have them on your list of teams that can win it all come March?
I don't as of now. I'll say this, like I plan on these coming weeks to start to really dive into college basketball waters. I certainly have been derailed by this Eagles playoff run more than I typically am at this point in the year, but I'm impressed by the way they've looked. I wouldn't say I have them as national championship contenders just yet.
Yeah, and they're down there as far as actually they're not. And DraftKings had I don't think I've ever seen it like that before. It's always ST, right? Not SAINT. I see it in their eyes. It threw me off. I don't know. Maybe I'm mistaken on that. Anyways, they're 30-1, which are currently 9. They're the 9th most favorite odds on DraftKings Sportsbook. They are tied with Michigan State, Sparty at 30-1. Both good bets.
Yeah.
That's 30-1 is a nice number for both of those teams, how good that they have looked this season. Purdue at 28-1, not buying them. Iowa State, shout out to McClay. They've lost a lot of their shine as of late. Tennessee 14-1, Florida 13-1, Houston 11-1, Bama 9-1, Auburn 4-1, and Duke 4-1 at this point in time too as well. The one thing I would say, big picture conversation is Duke, ACC is down. So the conference not really ramping them up. But then on the flip side of that, you go to the SEC, and those guys are just death top to bottom. Like there's not a day off in that conference. So is that going to have an effect come tournament time? Probably so. So I would probably lean towards Duke and having the comfortable schedule throughout the course of the conference play months versus having to deal with going on the road to Tennessee. Now I got to play Florida, Ole Miss, Mississippi State. Oh, it's got Coach Cal down there in Arkansas. It just never stops in the SEC.
Yeah, no, you're right about that. I think if you're trying to place a wager right now in the actual tournament, you're much better going for one of these long shots with the St. John's, with the Michigan State. Duke is probably what I would consider the favorite now. I'm not really buying the Auburn love as much as I've seen it. Very experienced, old roster, an average age of 23, and they're starting 5. You just don't see that in college. They got multiple 25-year-olds, which is just insane for college basketball. But I think they're a little bit of home court merchants, I would say. They're a good basketball team. I don't quite put them in that top tier of contenders at this point in the game.
When you brought up the average age, I saw a video, probably saw the same thing that you did, or maybe you knew about it, whatever. But just I had no idea the top to bottom of the roster was that old. And then they were comparing it to Luka and how young he is. It's like, wait a minute. Like, no, those guys are all older than Luka. It's just ridiculous. Luka's been in the NBA for 5 seasons now.
Yeah, and I'm going to actually see if I can find the stat. I would venture to guess that there's NBA teams that have a lower average age than the Auburn Tigers this year. I'm going to fact check myself there.
I would say OKC, right? Off the
Jazz
top.
for sure.
Ooh, the Jazz. Yeah, you're right about that.
That's the one that popped in my mind. OKC brought in a couple older guys to kind of slow it down. The youngest player in the NBA is 19. That is Ulrich Kamachi. Shout out to him on the Toronto Raptors. Let's see if I can get teams here. The Sixers coming in at the very oldest team in the NBA, average age of 28.3.
No way.
Yeah.
What's the oldest age as far as the roster is concerned? 28?
Yeah, for an average team. The youngest team, we got the Thunder at 24.1 and Trailblazers at 24.2. So nobody cracking the Auburn Tigers, but the fact that that's close is still kind of telling.
That is funny. Yeah, look, at the end, these guys aren't that old, but like I was thinking about Joel Embiid with the contract that he got. He's 31, right? It's like
gotta be, yeah.
still in the middle. All right, we will get over to the Sixers, I promise that. But time to play a game, ladies and gentlemen. Come on down. You're the next contestant on Who Sounds Worse After Winning the Super Bowl. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the game here on this Tuesday afternoon. My name is Sean Brace. I am the host. Our contestant, Sean Barnard. Sean, where are you from, sir?
South Jersey, born and raised.
Born and raised South Jersey. All right. Well, I'm going to play you two sounds, Sean Barnard. And all you're going to do is tell me who sounds like they enjoyed Sunday night's festivities a little bit more, as both of these interviews took place on Monday afternoon, Monday/evening. Having some fun going back and listening to how the show played out last night, yesterday, which was by far my favorite show that we have done since this station's existence. I've been a part of some great shows with great co-hosts and people involved behind the scenes. And just yesterday, it just felt good. It was so easy. And just to sit here and talk about the Eagles winning the Super Bowl and playing highlights and not have anything written down, ready to go. It was so much fun. And it came off that way. So if you enjoyed the show, we appreciate it. Definitely had a ton of people watching. And oh, by the way, I hear there was another radio station that was fighting over Jalen Hurts' greatness still. It's just, I digress. All right, let's keep it moving. Back to the game. Sean Barnard from South Jersey. First one up is a gentleman by the name of Ryan Beef Coyle, who was out on Fayette Street. Out there in Conshohocken doing the tush push, which made it on ESPN of all places, right from the main drag in Conshohocken, ESPN and Sports Center at midnight. Incredible stuff. Anyways, here's Ryan Beef Coyle on yesterday's Daily Ticket. The best was I was late to the party, as we're bringing in Beef himself. Beef. He's not late to the party. He is the party.
Yeah.
Tarps off.
We'll discuss that another day. But
listen to this.
Oh my God. Eagles got their lick back, though. Eagles got their lick back. I don't know what happened to my shirt. Like, it didn't come home with me. So I don't know when it came off.
Eagles got their lick back. I still have no idea what the hell that means. Is that payback after 57? What
you never
does
heard that phrase?
mean? No.
You never heard that? That's been
got the lick back?
Yeah, that's always, I've heard that my whole life. That's like, getting revenge, basically.
No, I don't think I've ever heard they've gotten their lick back.
Wow.
Yeah, like you take a licking, sure. Like, yeah, licks. Okay.
And then you get your lick back. That's like your comeback, your revenge. Yeah.
All right. Okay. That's Ryan Beef Coyle getting his lick back, who said he doesn't sound any better today, believe it or not. Next one up. Sean Barnard from South Jersey is the head coach of the Philadelphia Eagles, who spoke to the media yesterday about dealing with adversity the year before. And it doesn't sound like Nick got all that much sleep. As a matter of fact, he's dealing with adversity that day, putting together a sentence.
As crazy as this sounds, I'm grateful how last year ended, because it shaped us to who we are today and where we're standing today. And the adversity at the beginning of the year, and the adversity through the season, through injuries, through ups and downs, through everything.
Yeah.
I think that when you embrace adversity,
he's trying to put it together. So you get the gist of it on that one. Sean Barnard, if I had to ask you who sounded like they had a better time on Sunday night, Ryan Beef Coyle or the head coach of Philadelphia Eagles, who are you saying, sir?
The clear answer is Ryan Beef Coyle. And to give my full logic here, think about yeah, there we go. Think about how things transpired after the game, all the media obligations Sirianni has. Beef got a chance to get after it right away there. And the added factor that is just hilarious to me, shout out to Beef. I did text with him a decent bit. I know he had a late start to work the next day. But Nick Sirianni gets to, lick his wounds and relax and heal up before this press conference. Our guy Ryan was there in the office with his nice khakis and nice shirt on at some point with the same voice, which is just a very funny image to me there. I hope everything went well at the actual job there, but pretty funny how that kind of putting that in perspective there.
We'll discuss that another day. But
listen to my favorite thing is, and this is funny, this hits a little bit for me, is I remember being that age, right around the 26, 27, 28 mark, going in, not having a voice, and then getting heckled by all the other hosts. So now it's my turn to pay it back, as I actually was a good soldier on Sunday who actually had to do some work and did keep it together and did not get out there on the streets, even though I was it was like the angel and the devil. And the devil was on my shoulder going, come on, dude, it's a Super Bowl championship and you're on the couch. Like, get up, go. What are you doing? And then like the angel was like, you got to get up early. You got to write some liners. You got to get some graphics. You got a big show. Go stay home. And then the devil was like, but Beef's out there. But Beef and the Hector boys are out there. And the angel's like, your wife's going to be mad at you. Stay home. Don't go out.
That is funny there. And I'll know I did the same trip after the first
Beef's
Super Bowl.
out there.
It's a loud devil voice too. That one will get you too.
Yes.
But I'll say I did the trip after the first Super Bowl too, going right to the city. It was twice as crazy for this one. Just the amount of people, the madness actually getting there, and just like parking, a whole deal, trying to make it all work. So it was quite the spectacle. But you can't replicate that level of energy anywhere.
I love the fact they're like, yeah, they're expecting 1 million people at the parade. Oh yeah. What parade have we thrown, whether it's 2017 or 2008 Phillies, that 1 million people weren't expected? And here's another thing. This is a betting show. I'll take the over on 1 million.
Yeah.
I'll take the over on 1 million. It's a Friday. We beat their ass. This team is so likable. It's so stupid from a content creator perspective too, with the music and like so many things that are inclusion right now. Yeah, if you are an Eagles fan, you have to get to the city. You have to be there. Looking forward to it. And we are going to be there as well. One way or the other, we are going to be there. iHeart Gambler, whatever it is. I do want to say this quick 30 seconds on this one, Sean. Don Smolinski, president of the Philadelphia Eagles, addressed the fans, addressed the city, addressed the media. And it's so funny because, and this isn't a shot. This is literally. I opened this up. Right? The Metro. Boom. It's great. Fly, Eagles, fly. Beautiful, right? Open it up. Headline. Eagles Super Bowl celebration leads to over 30 arrest citations. There was another outlet that took a video and put it out there and like made the city look like just straight up hell. Like it was Vancouver after the Game 7 loss many years ago. And it was a broken window. It was trash on the ground. I'm not trying to say that stuff should happen. That's not what I'm saying. Common sense, people. But what I am saying is people are going to do dumb things. And Don Smolinski was like, why do we have to let that be the narrative? Why do we have to report those sort of things and run with it? He's like, instead of the 8 arrests,
right,
that took place, why don't we talk about the one story where there was a person on their wheelchair where they were lifting him up so they could see? Like, he's right. He's right. And he's also right to say, back at you fans, if you're getting there, be the difference. Don't be an idiot. Don't get arrested. Don't push, people over. Don't fight with cops because you're in a mood and you're drunk. Like, set the narrative, set the tone. You could be the difference. I like that from Don Smolinski.
Yeah, and to be honest, that stood out to me that night too, because made the trip in, came back to South Jersey, as I said here, got back here like 2 a.m.-ish, and I was still geared up, still fired up. So I was flipping on, watching all the highlights, watching all the interviews, flipped on the news to see kind of like the scan of what the city, and like I had just been there. Like I was seeing firsthand what was going down. All this stuff, like this is the worst thing in the world. They're burning the city down. There's always like an element of truth, and it's just taken so far. Like the vast 99% of people there, all it is fly Eagles, fly chants, blow the whistle, jumping up and down, having a blast, shooting fireworks. Like for the most part, pretty harmless stuff. And sure, there's that handful that are going to take the headlines and make it look bad. But like to me, that's the story. That's the story of sports to me, is I don't think there's anything in society that replicates people coming together in the way they do over a sporting team, over an event. That energy that you can feel in Philadelphia, that you certainly will feel on Friday, cannot be replicated any other way. And that to me is the real story there.
Well said. Could not agree with you more. It's just funny. You think about it and, everything, we automatically think about politics and the difference. And it's been like this since 2016 where nobody ever cared about which way you were voting until that point in time. And so it's right there in front and center in our face. And it's like, wait a minute, you get down there on Bourbon Street and like, do you think there was one bit of politics talk? Now I get it, head in the sand, but at the end of the day, everybody's different. Everybody has different opinions, different values. But it's the driving force, the Eagles, the NFL, nothing better, nothing bigger. And it's just cool. And I'll also say that's why I enjoy like a lot of the holiday celebrations, like 4th of July, anytime St. Patrick's Day. I love when the communities get together because like none of that stuff matters. Shut the Fox News off, shut the CNN off, turn that stuff off, and let's be humans, let's be neighbors, let's be friendly, let's be cordial. Like I don't care who you vote for. That should not matter. Let's come together and be good civilized human beings and try to lead the charge for the next generation, because more and more that worries me as now that I am a father, soon to be of 2 coming up in May. Again, long-winded. Anything else you would like to add about that, Sean?
Yeah, no, I think you nailed all that. And it is about togetherness. It's about like this community that is really fostered by the Philadelphia Eagles there. Like for all the people that want to like minimize or joke about sports. And I have certainly like, I guess part of my family, I would say, that doesn't get it, the allure of sports in the way that I've certainly committed to since I was born. I loved everything about it there. That's to me what it's about, man. Like, yes, we talk about all these narratives. We have our debates. We have our betting picks and all this stuff. But what sports is about at the end of the day is really that sense of community, that togetherness, and like that level of energy, everyone being on the same page. So I cannot wait to be a part of it on Friday again. And shout out to this Eagles team for delivering it.
Loving it. Sean Barnard. We'll wrap up with this quickly, though, just to update. So Jalen Hurts was at Disneyland, Disney World, once in California. World. I'm going in 2 weeks.
Awesome place.
Yeah, my first time in like forever. Wow. I went like when I was 6, 7 years old. I went my senior year to Universal Studios. I can't remember much. This is my first time, my wife's first time, period. And then my my daughter Kendall, she's 5, so her first time. So really excited about it. It's gonna be a blast. But Jalen Hurts, when you wish upon a star, makes no difference who you are. He was down there. I'm going to Disney. Anyways, and then he will be on Jimmy Fallon tonight with Saquon Barkley. Now, what's crazy to me is, and I'm a diehard legendary Roots Crew fan. Some might say I'm an honorary member. They were in last night, so I'm hoping, like, I don't know what's going on, but they better be in tonight. Last night, matter of fact, it was a special edition of Jimmy Fallon Late Night. You had Paul Schaefer, who was the former band leader for David Letterman, and Letterman busted through the back door and came in and crashed the party. So it was pretty cool to see that video. But I don't know what was going on at the Roots. Maybe they were down at the Super Bowl. Who knows? They got the day off. I love that. But hopefully they're back tonight with Jalen Hurts and Saquon Barkley making an appearance tonight on the Jimmy Fallon Show. All right, let's get on over to the NBA because we got a lot to talk about real quick. Luka made his debut last night. Sean Barnard, 14 points, 5 rebounds, 4 assists. Lakers dominated the Jazz, 132-113. No surprise there. Now winners of 6 straight. What are we talking about with the LA Lakers, Sean Barnard? 1 game in. Obviously, the trade got rescinded. That was going to send Dalton Connect over to the Hornets. So there's an issue that they need to worry about as far as a big man down low. What's their biggest flaws and what's the ceiling for this Lakers team right now on February 11th?
Yeah, the big man thing is a real deal issue, and that's something that they're going to have to address. Jackson Hayes, who seems to be primarily holding down the spot, he's not bad. He's a legitimate NBA big man, but he's not quite a starting caliber on a championship team guy. Luka Doncic and LeBron James make life easy. He looked very good last night, and Luka and LeBron I thought looked pretty impressive. But to me, I was ready to talk myself into this Lakers team being legitimate championship contenders with Mark Williams as a part of it. It's a big deal that trade didn't go through, and obviously there was a report from Shams that they're still kind of scouring the market, trying to find another option through either the buyout. I'm curious if they look overseas, try and bring somebody back over there that can contribute right away. We've seen the success that Gershon Yabusele is clearly having here in Philadelphia. Would not shock me if they lean into that direction, but I do expect them to bring in another body as a legitimate big man there. That's kind of the biggest question mark to me. If they can get an adequate big man, a starting caliber big man, which is a difficult ask at this stage in the season, I do think they're in that mix there. But the trade is about Luka Doncic. It's about the long term. But when you have 2 guys that special on the floor, they're going to figure things out. So it was a training wheels matchup last night against the Jazz, but I thought they looked pretty good overall.
Yeah, specifically, too, by the Lakers to push that back until he played against the Utah Jazz. That was a nice play by them. But again, long season, all-star break. You got to add it all up into the equation. Quickly on this, Oklahoma City Thunder plus 105 to win the West on DraftKings. Denver plus 650. Lakers plus 750. Grizzlies 11-1. Clippers with Ben Simmons 15-1. Warriors 16-1. T-Wolves, so disappointing this year, 19-1. Rockets 20-1. Mavericks 22-1. We'll stop there. But if the Lakers and Nuggets matched up tomorrow in a 7-game series, who you got?
Probably still Denver. Actually, definitely Denver from the standpoint of the big man spot. Once again, they're going to have no answer for Nikola Jokic whatsoever, and that's a huge issue when kind of looking across the Western Conference and what your path may be there. So I'm very disappointed. I'm a Mark Williams guy. I think and it's very disappointing. It seems like he's heading down the path where his body might be failing him in a little bit of a way here. There had to be some pretty significant red flags to walk that trade back entirely, and curious what exactly the doctors saw that caused that. I've seen that they're pushing back and having a league investigation and all that type of thing. The bottom line is I think the damage is done and the trade won't get done. But if Mark Williams was on that Lakers team and fully healthy, the Lakers would have been my choice there. As things are currently, I don't see them having an answer for Jokic there.
Yeah, never a good thing when to make jokes about your knees being cabbage. Like, not a good thing. Lakers and the Grizzlies in a 7-game series. Who you got?
I would go Lakers for that one. I do think, like we saw last year, people are still, I think, underrating Luka Doncic to an extent here. Of like
That's
dude,
ridiculous.
a top 3 basketball player on the planet, and we saw him carry this Mavericks team to an NBA Finals run last year, and now he's got LeBron James playing alongside him. So it's not perfect, but the Lakers are gonna be very good.
Like Kyrie's great. When you have LeBron as your teammate, the attention he gets, and oh, by the way, you're never in a spot that he can't get you the ball. One of the most smartest basketball players to ever take the floor. Like this is going to set Luke. It has to set him up for just an unbelievable next step in his career. That's going to take him to even higher spots than we ever imagined. And I hope that is the case because he's that good, and it's good for the game, good for us as fans. All right, Sixers conversation. What's not good for the fans?
No,
John, but if Joel Embiid is out there telling Lisa Salters that he's going to need another surgery to fix this thing, what are the Sixers doing? He's got to be shut down. He's got to be shut down immediately. If that's what he's saying to the damn media, then that's what's being said behind the scenes, Sean Barnard. He needs to be shut down yesterday, a matter of fact.
If that is the case, it is straight up malpractice that it has not happened yet. If he needs another surgery for the short and long term of the Sixers franchise, priority number 1 must be doing whatever is necessary to get Joel Embiid as close to 100% as possible. What's particularly striking to me about this entire situation is this is the exact polar opposite of what the Sixers have articulated from start to finish this season. It is though. We've been sold this vision.
I'm shocked.
Oh yeah,
I'm shocked.
I got you. But like they've constantly harped on this game plan of like injury management and making sure there are the rest days, all this type of thing. Never once has there been a conversation of him needing another surgery or anything like that. And then that's what Joel directly says yesterday. It's also very Sixers to just drop this on 2:30 on the day of the Super Bowl before the Eagles are about to play. So yeah, they're always going to Sixer, man. But my level of concern with Embiid certainly probably the highest it's been all season. Really frustrating.
Oh man, it's every day. It's something new. Every day. It's a little Sheryl Crow for you there. Yeah, that was great, and of course ESPN ran with it, and rightfully so because it's not what we've been told. And here we are with this nonsense. Back to back for the 76ers. NBA All-Star break front and center coming our way. I think the last games are on Thursday, right? Thursday's our last game. Sixers play tonight and tomorrow. Tonight, taking on the Toronto Raptors at home. Tomorrow is in Brooklyn. Sean Barnard, DraftKings Sportsbook, who you represent very well, sir. 9.5-point favorites. 224.5 is our total. Who's playing for the Philadelphia 76ers tonight? 9.5, I assume everybody. But then again, the Raptors are pretty bad.
Yeah, I mean, Joel listed as questionable, so that'll be one of those game time decisions. We'll see that. Eric Gordon officially out, Kyle Lowry officially out, but other than that, it does seem like they will have the vast majority of their guys there. Paul George expected to play, continue fighting through whatever that pinky injury he's got rolling with. Tyrese Maxey will be around, so you will mostly get the real team. My guess would be Joel continues to play tonight, but who knows? I would like a little bit of further questioning if Embiid steps to the media post-game and kind of get some answers on all that, but for the most part, it will be the full Sixers team tonight.
Sean, great hour, sir. Always a fun day when I can get you on the daily ticket. Of course, you know where to find Sean Barnard. If you don't, it's Sean_Barnard1 on socials. And he does a great job for all things DraftKings, which you can find those guys and gals over at DKNetwork.com. What's the latest piece you got up there? What are you breaking down?
Did a bunch kind of back into the NBA world, so we'll be pumping out some college basketball stuff that's going to be sharpened up. I kind of went all over the place with Super Bowl coverage. It was leading receiver, leading rusher, all the prop bets that you could do. So kind of coming down on the, I guess, coasting from the high of the Super Bowl content push there. And shout out to those guys for letting me move my days around so I can be in attendance Friday too.
Mac McClung going to win the slam dunk competition?
Yeah, I feel like it's kind of a lock at this point with Mac. And shout out to Mac McClung there. I do hope so. It's kind of, I don't know if I like it or don't like it that the NBA has kind of made this just his event now, but it will be, I think this year will be a better dunk contest than has been in a couple seasons. A couple of legitimate names in there.
All right. Well, we got plenty to talk about all week long. Sean Barnard, can't thank you enough, sir. Appreciate it as always. All right, coming up on the other side, Luke Arcaini is going to join the party. We'll continue talking all things Super Bowl as we're going to dive into the autopsy of a beatdown, and it is also Appreciation Tuesday. Who does Luke want to send a shout out to as far as the Philadelphia Eagles are concerned? Who's he appreciating today on this fine Tuesday in the Delaware Valley? More Daily Take a back into this.
CEOs you should know, brought to you by Comcast Business.
Justin Jude, Global CEO of LKQ Corporation. Our mission is to be the global value-added distributor of products and solutions to our customers. We were founded as a automotive recycler. So think of a junkyard, but we professionalized the business. We processed over 800,000 vehicles. And so we like to make sure that those vehicles do not end up in a landfill. Chemicals don't end up in the soil. And so we recycle, detoxify those vehicles, and then sell those products. We make money at it, but we're doing it from a sustainable standpoint. We created a foundation in 2020. We donate over $4 million. $1 million of that typically goes to employees or employee families, children for scholarships. We also have an employee relief fund. Think of some of the hurricanes that have occurred in Florida and some of the other markets where we will help not just our employees, but also help the communities for which we operate. It's critical for us to be known as a good corporate citizen and a good community supporter. We created this foundation and make sure we have a good opportunity to allocate that money out. We operate in Ukraine. We have 50 locations in Ukraine, so we not just help our employees in Ukraine, but also help some of the communities in those areas that are suffering just from the Russian invasion. LKQ being over 1,600 locations across the globe, 48,000 employees. If you really want to work for a company or support a company, buy from a company that is all about sustainability, that's how we were founded.
To know more, go to lkqcorp.com. Comcast Business, the complete connectivity solution, cybersecurity, internet, and mobile, all from one provider. Comcast Business, powering possibilities.
Hey, Sean Brace here. Now, when you shop local, you're not just making a purchase, you're making a difference. Gerhardt's Appliances, they've been serving our community for over 80 years, supporting the neighborhoods we call home. Instead of sending your hard-earned money to a national chain, support the home team at Gerhardt's, proudly serving all of Philadelphia, Glenside, Doylestown, Malvern, Ardmore, and beyond with top-quality appliances and unbeatable local service. Shop smart, shop local, shop at Gerhardt's. Visit Gerhardt'sAppliance.com or visit any of their 6 locations.
Hi, I'm Jenna Fisher. A little over a year ago, during a routine mammogram and ultrasound, I was diagnosed with triple-positive breast cancer. Caught early, many common cancers have survival rates well over 90%. The Screening Time Off program encourages employees to take time to step out for screenings. Be the world's best boss. Join Screening Time Off. Learn more and sign up at workingwithcancerpledge.com.
Join Fox Sports The Gambler at Chickies and Pete's in Marlton, New Jersey, 6 p.m. tonight to celebrate the Birds' big win. Meet special guest Birds players and hear from Gerald Colton and Dave Spadaro for the All-Pro Philly Players Show. Tonight, 6 p.m. at Chickies and Pete's in Marlton, New Jersey.
For a limited time, you can get KFC chicken with the sweet heat of hot honey. And after one bite, you'll wonder, how do bees make hot honey so hot? Are they special bees? Does KFC have dragon bees? Fire-breathing dragon bees that create spicy honey? No, silly. There's no such thing. KFC just partnered with Mike's Hot Honey to drizzle all over their crispy chicken. But dragon bees would be so cool. Try it now for only $7 or share a box with friends for $25. Prices and participation vary while supplies last. Taxes, tips, and fees extra.
Jackson Hewitt makes taxes feel like a yacht rock song. Get your max tax refund guaranteed, and new customers get $100 to switch. Don't miss the boat. Book an appointment with experts today. Limited time offer for new clients. Participating locations only. Terms at jacksonhewitt.com.
Here's what's trending on the iHeart Sports Network, presented by DraftKings Sportsbook.
The 76ers will look to break their losing streak tonight when they host Toronto. They always dropped 3 in a row after Sunday's setback in Milwaukee. Flyers forward Travis Konecny will take the ice for Team Canada. That's tomorrow night against Sweden in the opener of the Four Nations face-off. And ESPN and the NFL have now renewed talks about a potential sale of the league's media assets, including their website and TV network. I'm Scott Davidson.
Check out what DraftKings has to offer this season with code SPORTS, because life's more fun when you're in on the action. DraftKings, the crown is yours. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER. Age and eligibility restrictions apply. Void where prohibited. See DraftKings.com for details.
Get ready for our 2025 iHeart Podcast Awards.
March 10th, we'll honor the very best in podcasting from the past year and celebrate the most innovative talent and creators in the industry. And you'll help decide who wins Podcast of the Year. Vote now at iHeartPodcastAwards.com.
Lenovo is proud to be a part of the iHeart Podcast Awards at South by Southwest, where creativity and innovation collide. With the new Legion Go S, the first licensed handheld powered by SteamOS, your game goes anywhere. Visit Lenovo.com/Legion Go, empowering creators everywhere.
Fox Sports Radio, The Gambler. Now, total traffic for Philadelphia.
Good afternoon. Tuesday drive home. We're starting to see a lot of volume out there on the Schuylkill eastbound. So 202 to Gulf Mills, clear to Belmont, and Montgomery Drive to south. Westbound Jan University past the Vine Expressway, Boulevard to Belmont. And so glad with the talking. Busy on the Vine Expressway both ways. Schuylkill 95 and 95 northbound Jan Gerard up to Bridge. Southbound heavy from Cotman to Bridge. Delays on the Blue Route northbound 95 past McDade and southbound Broomall to Media Swarthmore. 42 South Walt Whipping Creek Road. All right, to tell a total traffic.
This report is sponsored by Rapid Radios.
Rapid Radios are instant push-to-talk walkie-talkies offering national LTE coverage and no subscription ever. Business owners can now keep in touch with up to 200 staff members at one time. Go to rapidradios.com now for up to 60% off and free shipping.
Hi, it's me, your USPS Ground Advantage shipment. Just left the warehouse.
I know. Just got the notification.
Join Fox Sports The Gambler at Chickies and Pete's in Marlton.
Stay in the know with USPS Ground Advantage Service. Visit USPS.com/in-the-know.
On Saturday, February 22nd at 1:30 p.m. Eastern, it's the Pro Volleyball Federation's first All-Star match. The league's biggest stars will clash in a can't-miss event hosting the Indy metro area, home of the Indy Ignite. Catch every serve, spike, and save live on CBS. Don't miss this historic showdown of volleyball's finest. The Pro Volleyball Federation All-Star Match on February 22nd at 1:30 p.m. Be there.
Stay tuned to Fox PHL The Gambler for the latest CEOs you should know.
Justin Jude, Global CEO of LKQ Corporation.
Comcast Business, powering possibilities.
Hey, nice job, Pete. I like those clean lines. Fellas, do we have anyone that can get to Greenport today?
At Corey's Landscaping, the staffing plan is in the weeds.
Anthony, we need that leaf blower over here. 3 more new customer requests just came in. Who wants to work some overtime?
He needs to dig up quality landscapers and fast.
I need Indeed.
Indeed you do. When you sponsor a job on Indeed, it's easier for talented candidates to find it, which makes it easier for you to hire them. Visit Indeed.com/credit and get $75 towards your first sponsored job. Terms and conditions apply.
Oh, could this vintage store be any cuter?
Right? And the best part, they accept Discover.
Accept Discover? In a little place like this? I don't think so, Jennifer.
Oh, yeah, huh? Discover's accepted where I like to shop. Come on, baby, get with the times.
Right. So we shouldn't get the parachute pants?
These are making a comeback. I think.
Discover is accepted at 99% of places that take credit cards nationwide. Based on the February 2024 Nielsen report.
Your home for Villanova basketball is WDAS and WD273D. Fox Sports Radio Philadelphia. Recapping that special night in New Orleans. This is the Daily Ticket with Sean.
The best was I was late to the party as we're bringing in Beef himself. Beef. He's not late to the party. He is the party.
Yeah.
Tarps off.
We'll discuss that another day. But,
Listen to this. Eagles got their lick back. Luke Arcaini joining us here on this beautiful Tuesday. Super Bowl champions once again, Philadelphia Eagles. We are just so hyped to relive the madness with you all week, getting you ready for the parade and then being involved. Discussions being held behind the scenes here. There's a chance that we're right on the parade route. We'll talk more about that as we get a little closer. Luke Arcaini joining me. Luke is a man of love too as well. Hello, Luke. How we doing?
What's going on, Sean? Caught feel like beef, a little bit of a Super Bowl hangover cold the last few days. Stayed home, got the congestion, got the hangover. It's all kind of kicking in, I think, today.
Everybody's sick.
Yeah, we're pushing through. We're doing all right.
Yeah, so I'm asking you because, as I said, you're a man of love in a relationship, and you and the lady, I would assume, would probably be taking advantage of a Friday night Valentine's Day, maybe some festivities, but now everything gets kicked out. Sorry, see ya. Or are you a man that's going to be doing both, like I'm hearing?
No.
See ya. It's full throttle parade. Sorry, sweetheart.
So the unfortunate thing is she's actually a coach. She coaches field hockey. She coaches like a youth, like AAU sort of team, and they have their nationals this weekend.
Nice.
So she was actually going to be away anyway, Valentine's Day weekend. So luckily we actually didn't have any plans for Friday because she was going to be away for the weekend. So luckily I didn't have to do any convincing to change the reservation. So that worked out nice for me, to say the least. Yeah, but no,
sure
I think if we did have plans and she was available to go to the parade, she was very in on going to the parade. So I think she would have been all right with switching the plans around.
Yeah, there's a lot of people that are dealing with it right now, and
she understands we don't get these a lot here, Sean.
No,
we don't get many parades in this city.
Yeah, my wife actually did say that to me. She's like, "We just had one." I'm like, "That was 2017. That was a long time ago."
Sophomore in high school last time.
But yeah, exactly. But I did say, like, this is a once in a lifetime deal. Like, these things don't come around. She's like, 2017 wasn't that long ago. I'm like, hey, you don't say that out loud.
It is when you watch every game every year.
Exactly. All right, Luke, we got a lot to discuss, some fun topics that we got into from the beginning. I will revisit a few of those, but we also have some new stuff and to the world of baseball. Good grief.
Yeah, baby.
I mean, I said it the other day that I can't wait for some Phillies action, but I don't know if I'm striking up the band of baseball tonight just yet,
Oh, I'm ready.
Like Philly Cat was out there waving to the Mack truck driving down to Clearwater. That's about as far as it got for me with all things Phillies. But yes, we do know that a baseball season is right around the corner. Pitchers and catchers, all of that. All right. We did open up talking about the deal for everybody out there. So please get involved. That Fox PHO Gambler, streaming on YouTube, all the social media apps. Hit us up. Question, comments, concerns, but we start with what are your plans for Valentine's Day? What did you have planned? And is it all out the window due to the parade? It's understood across the board, but if you're trying to do both, like Buster from Q102 is, I'm definitely intrigued to hear a little bit more about that. Godspeed, exactly right. We did get some numbers about the Super Bowl, and it was the most watched telecast ever. The game averaged 126 million viewers, what makes it the most watched telecast ever. That viewership number covers all platforms, Super Bowl, including Fox, Fox Deportes, not Tubbsy, Tubi, Telemundo, and NFL digital properties. Peak audience, Luke Arcaini. The game peaked with 135 million in the second quarter. If the game had been close, it would have likely peaked in the second half at some point. But that game was over 24-0 at halftime. It goes on to say the blowout didn't hurt ratings. The last time there was a blowout, only 91 million watched, and that was the Bucs 31-9 victory over the Chiefs. So the fact that the ratings did not drop, number one, I think the atmosphere was cool. I think Mahomes losing, people enjoyed. And let's just be honest about this, too. There were some A-list celebrities in attendance. Whether it was Taylor Swift, whether it was Bradley Cooper, whether it was the Kansas City Chiefs or the president of the United States, whatever drives you to tune into the game, there were a lot of things that were still there for a lot of people that maybe weren't diehards of those two franchises. So those numbers don't surprise me, though.
No.
Not at all.
No, they don't surprise me either. I think when you have a team like the Chiefs, I think, one, you're just going to get the viewers. And I know a lot of people don't like the Chiefs, but it's always funny how the teams that people don't like is always the highest rated games. Like it always seemed like the Super Bowls that Brady was in were the highest rated at the time. And the NBA finals that LeBron was in were always the highest rated. If the big teams are on the big stage, there's going to be more viewers. You're going to get more viewers for Eagles Chiefs than you are Rams Bengals. Like, that's just how it's going to happen. I think the halftime show had a good factor in that as well. I think a lot of people knowing it was from Kendrick, obviously with the Drake beef, I think a lot of people were probably tuned in for that. And like you said, I think just like the big event of it being in New Orleans, I think New Orleans is probably the best possible spot you can have a Super Bowl. I think the entire last week was above and beyond of what most Super Bowls have been. I think the coverage all week was great. Just like the setting, the stadium. I mean, that's an awesome stadium down there. So it was a great just overall week. The ratings were obviously up for a reason. And 127 million people watched a big time ass whooping on Sunday night.
Yeah, it's like Mark Henry Jr. said, 126 million people witnessed a murder. You're damn right.
Exactly.
A man who was in attendance, Kyle Fisher, was down there. We're looking forward to getting Kyle on the show this week. Great to have him back in the area. He said, my sister-in-law, not a sports fan, is from Connecticut. Since she's been a part of the family, we've gone on a World Series run and 3 Super Bowl runs with 2 titles and thinks this is totally normal for us.
It's not
scary, but not far off for a lot of people out there, compared to what friends of mine grew up and had to cheer for in the 90s and the 2000s. The Phillies changed everything, no doubt about it. But the Eagles could never get over the hump. And then finally, 3 Super Bowls since 2017. It's crazy. And I want to bring this up because it hit me yesterday, 2 parts. And this is such an easy observation, right? Like, yeah, winning championships changed everything. It's one of the things when you talk about the Phillies, how we reference that run. It was a great run locally. Nationally, it's one World Series. If they were able to win back-to-back in 08 and 09, and they were very capable of beating the Yankees in 09, we talk about that team in a much different manner. I've always said that. I'm pretty sure we're all in agreement there. To think about, and I know, but I'm going to say this out loud. Like Mahomes, it's fair to say that the Eagles outplayed the Chiefs somewhat in that first one. It's fair to say that the 49ers outplayed the Chiefs last year. It's fair to say that first Super Bowl could have very well went the other way. Like, I just mean it from the standpoint of like, isn't it crazy that Mahomes, of course, is the God, and no one's going to deny that. But if they don't win one of those Super Bowls, are we still talking about the Chiefs like we are today, or we did a week ago, right? And then does their armor take a little bit of a hit since the Eagles absolutely destroyed them on Sunday? Or is it still Mahomes and Reed, like we heard for 2 weeks straight? And it's crazy because you look at those other Super Bowls, and they very well could have lost that Eagles game. They very well could have lost the 49ers game, one of the two. It's just funny how that shakes out, how that breaks down. But I was thinking about that. And on top of the Eagles' perspective, what are we saying about this team currently constructed if this was their second Super Bowl? Right? Like, are we talking about them the way that people reference the great teams like the Cowboys run or, the Patriots or the Kansas City Chiefs? Like, what are we talking about then? It's crazy. Just that one possession going the way of the Eagles 2 years ago, and we were looking at this team in a whole different light.
I mean, this has been the 5th Super Bowl for Mahomes, and I think there's an argument the opposing team outplayed him in 4 of them. Granted, he won 3 of them, but it's more likely than not that it seems like when Mahomes is in the Super Bowl that he's going to get outplayed. And it's funny, like Jalen Hurts outplayed Mahomes in both Super Bowls. Jalen Hurts played a better football game 2 years ago. Yes, Mahomes won the game, and that's all that matters. Bottom line is because more people talk about Mahomes in that game than Hurts. But like
stats are there,
and it's kind of funny, like to look at his stats a lot in the Super Bowl. Like, they're not like unbelievable every year. Like, they're not some crazy like big time. Like, he played horrible on Sunday. He played really bad. Super Bowl against the Eagles, he had 182 passing yards, and granted, he won the game. But like, it seems like it almost feels like Andy and realistically, this doesn't matter because they're winning more than they're losing when they go to the Super Bowl. But it's almost feeling like they're playing their better games in January than they are February over the past 5 to 6 years. Like they're playing better in the AFC Championship and the AFC divisional round than they are in the Super Bowl most years, which is just funny. And if you can do that and still win the games, then I would love to see what happens if his best game of the year is in February. But yeah, no, I mean, it's sort of a weird situation because there's been multiple occasions now where he's been outplayed. And I mean, he got his rocked on Sunday, man. Like there was just so many plays you can look back on. Obviously the Jalen Carter just like hit that just knocked him into oblivion. I can't believe he even got up after that. Like there were multiple plays. Milton Williams, Josh Sweat, all these guys they ruined Patrick Mahomes on Sunday.
Yeah, no, you're right. Well, we'll see what happens. Of course, offseason happening really fast. I got people hitting me up about draft and what are they going to do about this position? Who's going to get a contract? I full disclosure, like I started looking into it. I still have no oomph in my body to get into those discussions. Not today. Today was still, I'm celebrating, man. Today's about appreciation. That's Appreciation Tuesday here on the Daily Ticket. And Luke, I didn't get a chance to ask you to start. I did ask Sean Barnard, so you can't say these two names. Mine is Jalen Hurts. Sean Barnard appreciated Nick Sirianni. So on Appreciation Tuesday on the Daily Ticket, it's anybody in the Eagles organization, front office, player, ball boy, your favorite beer vendor, season ticket sales, whoever. Appreciation Tuesday for the season that resulted in another Super Bowl championship for the Eagles. Who you sending a shout out to?
Yeah, I'm going to give a shout out to Vic Fangio. A guy who's been in the league since 40 something years now. First ever Super Bowl. A guy that caught a lot of flack down in Miami for coaching his players too hard. That was the vibe from the Dolphins players last year. And that's a big reason kind of why they sort of agreed to sort of split up down there. And if your issue with Vic Fangio is he's coaching you too hard, every single guy on that Dolphins team that said that probably shouldn't be in the league anymore. Because Vic Fangio just came here and made a horrible defense, the number one defense in the Super Bowl, and made Patrick Mahomes look like an unexperienced rookie on Sunday. It was 60 minutes of straight dominance. And for all the years that Vic Fangio has been in the league, and there was a clip, I believe it was from Good Morning Football, and there was a story about Vic Fangio. And one of the guys on the show saw this guy just like walking around in street clothes on the field after the game. And he realized it was Vic Fangio. And there were a lot of guys celebrating in the locker room and all this stuff. And Fangio was just out there. I mean, he walked up to him and he like tried to congratulate him. And Fangio was like, oh yeah, cool. Thanks. Just like not really like thinking about it. And the guy like sort of grabbed Fangio and he was like, Vic, you've been in the league for 40 years and you just dominated and finally won your Super Bowl. He was like, make sure to give yourself some credit. So if Vic's not going to give himself the credit, then I'm going to give him the credit because it was a defensive masterclass from the first kickoff to that last knee. Every single play was just unbelievable. And he didn't blitz one time all game.
Yeah, that's the crazy part. We talked about that yesterday. That's the most insane stat that's out there. And Jamie Lynch from PHLY was saying stat porn. Yeah, that is top of the charts right there. That's some A-list material. That's one that you hit the favorite button on. That's for sure. That you wouldn't mind coming back to. Sorry, I'm getting a little bit too detailed. I apologize here. But what I would say, it's the fact that, man, you rush 4 and you're able to get after Mahomes the way he did. There's so much from that game. Let me bring that box score up just one more time, because one thing that I don't think is getting what's really funny is to discuss the game when it was 34-0. Yeah. That is the best part, to go back and look at some of those numbers. And Himbo from ESPN, who is a diehard Eagles fan, somewhat annoying, but really good at what he does, too. I'll give him all the credit in the world on that one. Tweeted this out. Box score snapshot when Chiefs got the ball for the 10th time. The Eagles were up 34-0. The yards, Eagles, 299 total to the Chiefs 65. First downs, Eagles 18 to the Chiefs 3. The Chiefs had 1 first down all first half. Like, the Chiefs had 23 total yards in the first half. They got 10 of them on a first play from scrimmage for them on offense. It was insane to see that box score, to really break it down. And to see stuff like that, it just raises it to another level that, maybe we comprehended, maybe we understood, but it definitely hits different, a day later.
Big time. I mean, once again, they did not blitz one time. Mahomes got sacked 6 times. It was the most in a game in his entire career. Vic Fangio's defense held Patrick Mahomes to his second worst performance by EPA in a game in his entire career. And I'm not an EPA guy, but when it goes in my favor, I'm an EPA guy. Negative 19.3. And I don't really know what that means, because I still don't really understand that stat. But that seems like it's pretty good. I mean, they just literally ran zone coverage all night, and they did not give Mahomes a chance to beat them. It was incredible, man. It was unbelievable to watch. And I think my favorite part just about sort of the defensive game was that Vic had all the trust in the world in his guys. And I think you can go into this game and you can try and change things because it's the Super Bowl and it's Patrick Mahomes and it's Andy Reid and it's all these different factors. And Vic had all the trust in his guys. He knew he didn't need to blitz. He knew he didn't need to start doing new things. He just had trust in his front four. They got in the backfield nearly like every other play, I believe the rate was. It was like 48% that one of our guys was in the backfield. It was all out dominance. And it was because of Vic Fangio and the trust that he had in those 11 guys on the defense.
Well, Luke Arcaini, we got plenty of time to break this one down. We will continue to do so right here all week long, getting you ready for the parade on Friday. Other side, we got some odds and ends that we want to hit. We'll even squeeze in an update for the Philadelphia Phillies, as Luke does a great job covering the Phillies for us here on The Gambler, a little MLB. You know what? I want to dip my toes in a little bit more. Not the toes, you know what? Because I dipped my toes in last week. I want to take a dive into some good, like 8 feet, 9 feet, not the deep side of the pool, fantasy baseball. There's a lot that goes into a season of fantasy baseball, but I want to be a little bit more involved. It only makes me a better host. I know that A, pay attention to the league a lot more too as well. B, and hopefully can win the Gambler League this year. So we'll go ahead and start looking into that a little bit as well. Other side, though, want to mix this in. Big topic from the world of the NFL. The New York Jets said thanks, but no thanks to Aaron Rodgers. Again, let me repeat that. The New York Jets said, no, we're good on you, Aaron. Look yourself in the mirror, man.
I have a take on this, so I'm ready.
Look yourself in the mirror, and you have to say, yeah, it might be me after it's all said and done. We'll talk a little bit about Rodgers and potentially his next stop, and will Devontae Adams be following him again? More on that on the other side. Also, Appreciation Tuesday rolls on here. Vic Fangio, Nick Sirianni, and Jalen Hurts all off the board. Who you sending a shout out to for Appreciation Tuesday? Daily Take Back with us.
Drivers who switch and save with Progressive could save hundreds. With that kind of money, you could go big time and skip the regular line at the airport and pay for speedy security. Imagine not having to quickly unpack and pack at the place you already came packed to. And wearing your shoes the whole time you're there? You can't put a price on that kind of luxury. Well, actually you can, and you paid for it. Switch to Progressive and you could save big time for speedy security. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and affiliates, not available in all states. Potential savings will vary.
Fox Sports Radio, The Gambler. Now, total traffic for Philadelphia.
Heads up, crash in Delaware has 95 northbound jam from routes 1 and 7 to 141. The right lane's blocked. In Philadelphia, 95 northbound, stop and go Girard up the bridge. Southbound heavy Copman to bridge. We're jammed on the Schuylkill, westbound University to Vine and Boulevard to Belmont. Eastbound, so 202 to Gulf Mills. Blue Route to Belmont, Montgomery Drive to South. Delays on the Blue Route southbound, Broomall to Media Swarthmore, and northbound 95 past McDade. Watch for slow traffic on 42 South Walt Whipping Creek Road. All right, to tell a total traffic.
This report is sponsored by Rapid Radios.
Rapid Radios are instant push-to-talk walkie-talkies offering national LTE coverage and no subscription ever. A great alternative to a mobile phone for your kids. For a limited time, go to rapidradios.com and you'll get 60% off. Free UPS shipping. Add code radio and get an extra 5% off.
Ozempic plus movement plus diet, that's the key to weight loss. And Future Health makes it easy to get started with affordable GLP-1s delivered 24 hours upon approval. Go to tryfh.com.
Tryfh.com.
Future Health is not a healthcare services provider. Meds are prescribed at provider's discretion. Results may vary. Sponsored by Future Health.
On Saturday, February 22nd at 1:30 p.m. Eastern, it's the Pro Volleyball Federation's first All-Star match. The league's biggest stars will clash in a can't-miss event hosted in the Indy metro area, home of the Indy Ignite. Catch every serve, spike, and save live on CBS. Don't miss this historic showdown of volleyball's finest. The Pro Volleyball Federation All-Star Match on February 22nd at 1:30 p.m. Be there.
See DallasStillSucks.com for details. Gary Barbera Jeep are super cheap. During Super Cheap Jeeps Week. Hello. Right, Superbirds Coach Nick.
Boy, I guess.
Jeeps, Jeep. Gary Barbera's making the Big Easy Big Game Playoff payoff. Jeep Grand Cherokees.
Yo!
16,666. And that's why Super Coach Nick picks Barbera.
This is Coach Sirianni. Is Barbera the best? Boy, I guess.
Or drive a super discounted Barbera Ram like our man Brandon Graham.
Boy, I guess.
Barbera's got Big Easy credit.
Philadelphia's credit connection.
And super cheap Jeep Grand Cherokees.
From a crazy 16,666.
Tell him, Superbirds Coach Nick.
Barbera the best? Boy, I guess.
Jeep Grand Cherokee 16666. Well qualified class.
I know, yeah.
DallasStillSucks.com.
Barbera!
Gary Barbera's super goal to stay in control of the most Jeep sold.
16,666.
Boom shakalaka.
Jeeps cheap.
Super cheap.
Is Barbera the best?
Hang on, you tell him, Brandon Graham.
Boy, I guess.
Go Birds. I know, yeah. DallasStillSucks.com.
Hi, I'm Jenna Fisher. A little over a year ago, during a routine mammogram and ultrasound, I was diagnosed with triple-positive breast cancer. Caught early, many common cancers have survival rates well over 90%. The Screening Time Off program encourages employees to take time to step out for screenings. Be the world's best boss. Join Screening Time Off. Learn more and sign up at workingwithcancerpledge.com.
These days, it feels like everyone is talking about how the American dream of homeownership has become out of reach for so many of us. Well, Rocket is trying to give us more of a chance to own our homes. They're making homeownership simpler and more accessible to more people, turning renters into owners. Rocket believes that every one of us deserves a shot at the American dream. So, are you ready? Own the dream. Visit rocket.com. That's rocket.com.
Hey, man, you all right? Need me to call 911? No, call Top Dog Law. Get top dollar for your accident at topdoglaw.com. Once again, that's topdoglaw.com.
Fly, Eagles, fly.
So here's Mahomes. What's he got left? Pressure again. Decked. Ball is out. And Milty Williams with a strip sack. Philadelphia takes over.
Recapping that special night in New Orleans. This is the Daily Ticket with Sean Brace.
The best was I was late to the party as we're bringing in Beef himself. Beef. He's not late to the party. He is the party.
Yeah.
Tarps off.
We'll discuss that another day. But,
Listen to this.
Oh my God. Eagles got their lick back, though. Eagles got their lick back.
Eagles got their lick back, Luke Arcaini. I can't say I've ever heard that before. I know licks, take a lick, keep on ticking, all that. But Eagles got their lick back. Like, what?
Oh, you've never heard lick back?
We got our lick back.
That's
no.
Cool. Nah, that's cool. That's a known one.
I can't say that I've ever said we got our lick back. No.
Good line. It's a song.
Got our lick back?
Forget who sings it. I think lick back's a song.
All right.
Forget who sings it. Hold on. Definitely a saying, though.
All right. Kyle Fisher checking in. My wife is working on Valentine's Day because she works at a restaurant. It's my dad's birthday. Celebrating him on the day. Lunch date with my daughter Saturday and dinner next week with the wife. Good call by you. See, Kyle Fisher, a man who gets it. Who's also down there. I look forward to connecting with Kyle a little bit later this week. But
Lick Back by ESTG. Look it up on your way home on the drive home.
Who the hell is ESTG?
He has like 2 good songs. That one's actually pretty good. But if I'm
sounds like a
thinking of the right
Nickelback song. Let me get that lick back. All right. So here's what we got. We are opening up with many conversational pieces. So you get involved out there. Plenty to choose from, as always, here on the Daily Ticket. You never know where we're going, especially when we're celebrating a Super Bowl championship. What a week. Can't wait. We're going to be all over for you. Potentially. Yeah. Look, are you in on Friday? Are you in? Are you in?
I mean, I'll be down there. I'll be down there. What's the plan?
All right, there will be money to be made, I think. So there's a chance that we're talking about a day-night doubleheader. Yeah, that's what we're talking about. So yeah, we might be working really hard on Friday, but that's all right. It's a beautiful thing. Got to take advantage of these situations. They don't come around that often. All right, Super Bowl championships don't grow on trees. Yeah, exactly.
Sure, I'm in. Let's do it.
Trust me, there's nobody that's going to make you blow into anything. All right, you'll be all right no matter which way you come. Pause. Anyway, so let's keep it moving here on the Daily Ticket. A lot to get involved with. Number one is the Valentine's Day. You know, now that there's a parade rolled into this bad boy, if you had a resi with your significant other, your wife, your boyfriend, your girlfriend, whatever it may be, your baby moms, I want to know, what are you doing with that reservation? Are you sticking to it? Are you trying to do a double dip? Did you adjust? Get involved in the conversation at Fox PHL Gambler, because now we have a parade on Valentine's Day. It's also Appreciation Tuesday. Send a shout out to somebody that you want to give some appreciation to from the Philadelphia Eagles front office. It could be anybody from a beer vendor. It could be anybody except Vic Fangio, Jalen Hurts, and Nick Sirianni, the head coach. Those 3 have been taken. So we'll keep it moving, keep the party going. Mark Henry Jr. is going to join us at 5 o'clock. A lot to get to there. Now we shift gears, if we could, and over to some offseason nonsense in the world of the NFL. Aaron Rodgers has been told thanks, but no thanks. Now, again, I'm not really too crazy about talking about Aaron Rodgers here on a Tuesday, but this is something interesting, a Tuesday after the Super Bowl championship. Diana Rossini, everybody's favorite insider, apparently, for The Athletic, very connected, especially in the world of the New York Jets. No surprise there. She said that with the new hire of Aaron Glenn, the requirement for Aaron Rodgers to come back was that he could not do the Pat McAfee show. And there were other, various mentions of weekly media mandatory meetings that just aren't required. Like, you can't be doing those anymore, whether it's Netflix, but specifically we know he does the Pat McAfee show. So I don't care if it was 100% mentioned as such, but we know the target, the bullseye was the McAfee show can no longer go on from Aaron Glenn's perspective and the New York Jets. On top of that, he could not miss anything from the offseason perspective. Now, that's a little dicey, and I don't know how much I believe that. At the end of the day, are the Jets a better football team with Aaron Rodgers as starting quarterback week 1, or without him, moving on and trying to find somebody else, whether it's a free agent or drafting a rookie? Luke Arcaini, what do you say to that?
Without, and that's an easy answer for me. So I think basically what we're saying is Aaron Glenn doesn't, and the Jets don't want their quarterback to be distracted by being on TV every week. And they want their quarterback to participate in the activities that everybody else on the team is participating in. Correct. I'm correct there. So,
but let me push back just a little bit, because I do believe, well, it was mandatory.
Because what are we doing here? So is it
because I think that's the only one he missed was when he went to Egypt.
Gotcha.
I think that's the only one he missed. Other than that, he was always there.
Okay. Yeah, no, I think they're better without him. I think if you're going to go into a sort of new era and you're going to bring in a new coach and you're going to bring in new coordinators and that type of stuff. I don't think Jets fans, I don't think the Jets organization, I don't think anybody involved with the Jets wants to bring over the stench of the Rodgers Jets from the last 2 years or year, whatever it was. I don't think that's how you start over. If this was any other team or any other quarterback that has been in the league for a while, but they're fully and obviously committing to a new sort of era of the organization, if you're going to start over, you start over. I think we've seen that. It's basically like the fact, like if you bring in new coordinators, he brings in a good amount of his guys. If you bring in a head coach, he brings in a lot of his guys. If the head coach of the football team wants Aaron Rodgers to participate in everything, like just everybody on the other team, and there's if there's any sort of pushback to that, and I'm not saying there was yet, but that's immediate for me. If I was Aaron Glenn, I would want no part of that.
Okay.
If I'm getting into New York and I'm in a big market for a big team, and I'm trying to reset this era of Jets football, which it's pretty it's bad. Like
all right,
there's
coach.
not many.
Who's your quarterback then, coach?
I don't know. That's not my problem. That's the GM's problem. All right, I'll tell you right now. What pick do they have?
But the issue is they got the Titans in front of them, the Browns in front of them, the Giants in front of them, the Raiders are in front of them as far as the draft is concerned, and they all want a quarterback. So I don't think that your quarterback is going to come via the draft this year. To me, believe me, I want to ride with you on this one, Luke. I do. But I don't necessarily think that Rodgers wasn't pretty. Dude, he threw 28 touchdowns and 11 picks. He threw for over 3,800 yards. Like, he wasn't that bad at times. There were times that he was bad. And I think you can do more with him than without him. Why can't you come up with a scheme that slows things down? You got Rodgers in there. Like, I don't know if this is the right move. I get it from a culture standpoint. Understood. But I have to be a realist. If you don't win, man, your ass might be fired faster than you can imagine. So, yeah, they just did fire the head coach. Yeah, they've been going through head coaches like every other 3 years. Understood.
They fired
it's not a great
organization.
It's not a great organization. We know that. The owner is a maniac. But if I'm Aaron Glenn, I think to myself, you know what? I'd rather have him and have Devontae Adams and have this team that we were able to watch tape on and see if I can find improvements versus gutting the most important position in all of sports. For who? For Sam Darnold, at best, going back there, for maybe a rookie that you can get in like the 4th or 5th or 6th round. That, to be honest with you, I don't think a lot of these rookies are really catching a lot of love, especially like Jackson Dart or any of those guys. Like, I don't know. It's really a tough answer to give, but I am leaning extremely heavy towards Aaron Rodgers coming back if I'm Aaron Glenn.
I think the bottom line for me is if I'm Aaron Glenn, do I want to go in and try and rebuild a team that has been one of the most unsuccessful teams in the history of the NFL? Do I want to go in and rebuild and basically start over and get in this process of getting the Jets back to playoff football? Do I want to go in and sort of rebuild this culture and everything with a 41-year-old quarterback who, by the time the playoffs will be here, he'll be 42. We know who Aaron Rodgers is. He's a weird dude. Like the TV, and I get it. Like, whatever, you're Aaron Rodgers, and I don't know, maybe I think because you think you have one Super Bowl, you can do whatever you want, but you haven't really done anything since that Super Bowl. But it's just I'm very out on Rodgers at this point. I just, if I was Aaron Glenn, I want to go in there with a clean slate. And listen, if I'm Aaron Glenn and I go in there and we try something with a new quarterback and it doesn't work and the Jets do all this to bring me in and fire me after 1 year, then maybe I don't want to be there in the first place after next year. But I just don't. I don't see what's there for Rodgers, especially their offensive coordinator. I forget his name, but his way of just a lot of his play calling tendencies in the past have been very not like Rodgers' game. The fit just doesn't seem there. Everything seems like to me that Rodgers won't be there next year. And I completely agree with it.
I don't think Rodgers hangs it up. I think Rodgers in his mind still wants to play. It will depend on who will call. If he does have a lot of calls out there, then I would assume that, you know what, he's going to be like, okay, let's go. If there are 3 or 4 teams that are like, we'd love to take a stab at you, you can come in and compete for the starting spot. I don't think Rodgers calls it a career, but if there isn't that type of interest, that could probably rub him the wrong way, and he's probably going to say, you know what, I've done enough, and it's time to roll on. However, there are odds on DraftKings Sportsbook currently as we sit. The Pittsburgh Steelers are the favorite to land Aaron Rodgers at plus 200. The Raiders at 3-1.
I thought about the Raiders. I thought about that. That to me feels like if they don't 100% maybe go quarterback, maybe they would look there and try.
And then getting Devontae Adams back, you know, you get Devontae and Rodgers and Vegas
gang back together.
with Pete Carroll. That's crazy. Devontae Adams, man.
How old is he?
He hasn't managed himself correctly in these last few seasons. That's for sure.
He's only 32. I feel like he's 45. Like
who, Rodgers? Or no,
Devontae Adams. He's only 32.
Yeah, correct.
Yeah,
Raiders are 3-1. Niners are interesting to me at plus 350. The Shanahan love, the Bay Area, call it a career, come and do your thing. Vikings at 4-1. We'll see what happens there. Titans at plus 750. Colts at plus 850. Yeah, if you're the Tennessee Titans, you would love to have Aaron Rodgers. If you are the 49ers as a backup to Purdy, that's a tough sell. But again, bringing him in 1 year to call it a career, I think that would be a good move by Rodgers. I get it. You're going to be back up to Brock Purdy, but
I don't know. I don't know if you can sell Rodgers on being a backup.
Well, again, if you could, it would potentially be there.
Yeah.
To go back to the Bay Area and say, this is it, my final year. I'm calling it a career. I'm going to be the backup here. If my number's needed, I'm ready to go, blah, 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 and that's it. Yeah. Steelers, I definitely don't see, but there is the Tomlin love affair, the wink, wink. I see you, that love affair. But who knows how that one's
like Tomlin, Mr. 8-8.
Yeah, Kyle Shanahan Kyle Fisher checking in. Yeah, we don't have Kyle Shanahan. We have Kyle Fisher. He said Rodgers needs someone to scheme him up at this point. His floor is still way higher than most. But if a coach doesn't take over the offense and Rodgers calls his own game, I don't see it working. Again, no doubt about it. If you can get somebody in there that is, a proven offensive guy that could get through to Aaron, and Rodgers is a different cat. So I don't want to put I don't want to be the end all be all and all things Aaron Rodgers, but I do believe if you did get like an up and coming offensive mind that was maybe to be able to bring something different to him, that might captivate him too as well. So it'd be interesting. Again, I'd have to read up a little bit more on what the Jets have at that coordinator spot, but right now they are calling it quits on Aaron Rodgers. And to put a bow in this discussion, if you're Aaron Rodgers, you must look at yourself in the mirror and say, it might be me. And it's tough for somebody with his success to be able to do that. 4 times, MVP as far as the league is concerned. Super Bowl champion. He knows how good he is. He's incredible. He's got a ton of fans out there. He's got the troll in him too as well. He loves the intention. Understood. But man, do not get on the microphone the next opportunity and say anything negative about the Jets. This is on you, dude. This is on you. The New York Jets said thanks, but no thanks. That's got to hit home. What man's take?
Yeah.
All right.
Nah, I got nothing on Rodgers. I never really liked the guy, but I don't think it's the right move. Get him out there. Predictions: a Steeler.
Okay. Name me another quarterback going to the Jets. All right. You know what? Let's stay with that. San Francisco. Luke Arcaini. The halftime show got a lot of attention from the Super Bowl. And of course, it peaked at 135 million people watching with Kendrick Lamar. Yeah. And I said my piece about the halftime show. I'm a diehard Kendrick Lamar fan, seen him the biggest spots and the smallest spots at the Trocadero. Love Kendrick Lamar, but I understand when people are saying, what, like, I'm a diehard and I didn't know one of the songs. There are people that get paid to do this and they didn't know one of the songs. I feel like the biggest highlight of the Kendrick Lamar halftime show is all the people pointing out the Easter eggs after it's all said and done. That's not what we want. That's not what we want at a Super Bowl halftime show. What we want at a halftime show is just to be entertained, fun, everyone enjoy it, standing around, sitting around, whatever it may be. I'm not saying that didn't happen, but I think there's a little bit more that could be done as far as for the next upcoming act for the Super Bowl or in years to come. I get it. Jay-Z is now in control. He is putting hip hop at the forefront. I don't mind it. I'm just speaking from a DJ mentality where you want to play to the house, not just one specific side of the floor, one man's take here. And again, diehard Kendrick Lamar fan. But it brings me to the question of this, Luke. Super Bowl next year, 60, going to the Bay. We going to the Bay. Are we rolling out too short? Is that what we're doing out there? What are we doing? What are we doing for the halftime show in San Francisco? Is this finally the spot that Metallica gets an opportunity to play? Or is it Taylor Swift or bust? That's where I'm at.
Taylor Swift, I thought she said she'll never do it.
You got to
I don't think she'll ever do it. I don't think
there's a chance. Wait. This is how you sell it to her. There's a chance that Travis might be calling it quits in a career. You could be the halftime show. He could be playing in his final game. This might be the year that Tay-Tay says, all right, I'm in.
I don't see it. I don't think she'll ever do it. My issue with halftime shows sometimes is, and listen, I love Kendrick, and I didn't think it was great. I didn't think it was bad. I thought it was good. It's hard sometimes on a stage like that for rappers to be very entertaining. If you have a lot of songs, the rap-like songs that Kendrick has, it's hard for him to be more of an entertainer like that, I think, when it's not like a 2-hour concert. Like, you have 15 minutes to squeeze as much as you can in, and you're basically rapping the whole time. And it's the issue for rappers is if you put somebody like Taylor Swift in there, or if you put somebody like The Weeknd in there, there's a better chance that more people in that stadium and more people on TV know the songs than they do Kendrick Lamar rapping Humble or him rapping DNA. Like, it's, if you had Taylor Swift go up there and sing like Love Story, yeah, it would be funny, but like more people know that than DNA by Kendrick Lamar. So it's like, it's hard, I feel like, for rappers to do Super Bowl halftime shows because, like, I thought he was pretty good.
Oh, he's a hell of an entertainer.
Yeah, he is. But
he's moving all around that stage. He's great.
It's just hard for rappers to entertain an audience, specifically like that, I think.
Well, again, it goes to the songs more than anything for me. You know, you look at Dr. Dre and what he did. We all know those songs. Everybody knows those songs. Usher, you knew those songs, right? Again, I'm a diehard Kendrick fan.
You look at some of the best halftime shows. You look at the Bruno Mars halftime show.
Not a lot of people knew those songs, and that's got to come into play. That's one thing people need to register, or it's got to hit you. Again, Jay-Z doesn't care. He's running the show, and you know it is what it is, whatever. But from one man's take, that's all I said about that. I thought Kendrick put on a great show. I thought it was well choreographed. I thought the cinematography was awesome. The video, like I thought, you know, but again, like every day I'm seeing people be, oh, did you see this? There's this person hanging from a light pole. This person, it's like, all right. Like I want to tune into the Super Bowl and be entertained. I don't want to be reading 4 days later about, did you see the diamond shape? It was and the Falcon was coming out, which means like the world is going to catch up. Like, all right, I get it. We
need to get back to, I'm looking down the list right now. We need to get back to the 2010s of Super Bowl halftime shows.
What do you got?
Dude, in order: 2011 Black Eyed Peas, 2012 Madonna, 2013 Beyonce, 2014 Bruno Mars, 2015 Katy Perry, 2016 you have Coldplay, 2017 Lady Gaga, 2018 Justin Timberlake, 2019 Maroon 5, 2020 Shakira, J-Lo.
Maroon 5.
The Weeknd, we got to start. They need more entertainers. They need entertainment and not rappers. I think you can put rappers into these shows, but I don't think you can sell people that are watching a Super Bowl on a 15-minute rap.
I kind of disagree. To me, I think you can put rappers, but you got to know the music.
Yeah.
It's got to be hits.
Yeah,
it has to be hits. If it's not hits, you just lose people. And I'm a huge diehard fan. I love Kendrick, and I love the halftime show. That was great. But I'm speaking from the standpoint of like, yeah, man, we can't dismiss the people that were like, what's going on here? Like, this isn't for me, right? Because there's truth to that. There's truth. The two Americas, whatever. Bottom line is there were old folks that white and black didn't matter that were watching that going, all right, like this isn't for me this year. Keep it moving. Where, again, not to say if Kendrick played to Pimp a Butterfly or some of his big time hits,
which he should have.
Money Trees. Yeah, he should have, but like even then, I don't know if that's gonna match because Kendrick's resume, the songs.
I don't know if it's gonna match to everyone. It's gonna match to me.
Correct. Yeah. Anyway, San Francisco's next year. It's why we're talking about it now, and I thought it would be a fun discussion. Huey Lewis in the news. You got Too Short. You could roll California out there any which way you want, but the Bay Area's got a great. Hell, man, Grateful Dead. Let's go. John Mayer and Dead and Company. Do it.
Yeah, I'm in
Do it.
I'm in for that. Trying to think who would be my ideal Super Bowl halftime performer for Super Bowl 60.
Bob's got to hang on. Good grief. There's plenty to choose from.
There is. Yeah.
E40 is who we're not talking about enough yet. E40's got to have a mention in there as well. All right. Hey, give me 30 seconds on the Phillies. Go.
30 seconds on the Phillies. Their first workout is tomorrow. Their first official workout is tomorrow. Some group of guys were down there today. Jesus Luzardo, Ranger Suarez, Zach Wheeler, Christopher Sanchez, and Taijuan Walker. They all had bullpen sessions today. Alec Boehm had some ground balls on the half field. But first official team workout is tomorrow, February 12th. And then we hit the ground rolling. I believe the first game is about a week and a half away. I can't remember the date of the first game exactly. But we are back. We're officially here. I'm going to be recording the first podcast of the season tomorrow night after the first workout. Luke and I on the Phillies 2025. New season. We're ready. I'm ready. So the first game is February 23rd. Phillies baseball.
We got a podcast being recorded. I love it.
Oh, come on.
Send that. Hey, look, man, let's go. We're airing everything this year. Let's go. So get that to me. We'll air that podcast. That's you and Sean Barnard, right?
Yeah. So that's the YouTube thing. And then Luke and I.
Luke and I, we got to get back on. We will.
Whoever guests, you want to jump on. Sean wants to jump on. Whoever wants to jump on.
All right, Luke and I will definitely get played on the Gambler, but the other stuff you do as well. We are
45 days away from opening day, March 27th at Nationals Park. I can't believe we open on the road. March 27th at Nationals Park. Might have to be a road trip down there opening day.
My wife's out of town, so I know I can't go there. Yeah, that's what happens when you get married. You know about the vacations 2 months in advance. Anyways, so baseball season. We'll be here before we know it. All right, Luke, great job as always. We'll catch up later, sir. Always a pleasure. Be sure to follow him at Arcaini Luke. That'll do it for Luke. On the other side, we got Mark Henry Jr. going to join the party, and we're going to keep it going here. 5 o'clock hour. We'll bring back the autopsy. When did it turn into a surefire lock for you? I had a lot of fun. A lot of people were replying with my Bradley Cooper takes yesterday, tongue in cheek. that essentially that was the turning point of the game when he announced the Eagles onto the field, and it was an absolute home game. I do have a write-up from a paper as well that I want to read you that basically broke down the atmosphere inside the Sugar Dome or the Superdome to a T. So I want to give that to you on the other side. We'll talk more about the Super Bowl, the victory that was with Mark Henry Jr., who has not had an opportunity to do so yet. So his first comments on all things Super Bowl 59, the Birds are on top of the NFL mountain. It's a daily ticket. More after this.
Stay tuned to Fox PHL The Gambler for the latest CEOs you should know.
Justin Jude, Global CEO of LKQ Corporation.
Comcast Business, powering possibilities.
Hi, it's me, your USPS Ground Advantage shipment. Just left the warehouse.
I know. Just got the notification.
Made it.
Yes, I know. I get all the updates.
Stay in the know with USPS Ground Advantage service. Visit USPS.com/in-the-know.
Wesley is a truck driver.
I drive a truck and I love what I do.
A truck driver with IRS troubles.
They told me I owed them $43,000.
It got really bad.
Quite a few letters in the mail. They were talking about wage garnishment, coming after my house, my car. Yeah, they don't play around. I seriously thought that I was going to lose everything.
One sleepless night, Wesley finally made a call to Optima Tax Relief at 2 a.m.
Kind of figured I'd get a machine, but I didn't. I actually got to talk to an actual person in the middle of the night.
He found just what he was looking for.
Oh, they were great people. You need a team of people that know what they're doing. Optima Tax, they know what they're doing.
Optima Tax Relief came through with flying colors.
I saved an incredible amount of money. Happy don't even come close. I was absolutely overjoyed.
Take Wesley's advice.
If you're in any kind of trouble with the IRS, call Optima Tax Relief. Don't trust anybody else.
Call Optima for a free consultation. Call 800-354-2840. 800-354-2840. 800-354-2840.
Optima Tax Relief.
Some restrictions apply. For complete details, please visit OptimaTaxRelief.com.
These days, it feels like everyone is talking about how the American dream of homeownership has become out of reach for so many of us. Well, Rocket is trying to give us more of a chance to own our homes. They're making homeownership simpler and more accessible to more people, turning renters into owners. Rocket believes that every one of us deserves a shot at the American dream. So, are you ready? Own the dream. Visit rocket.com. That's rocket.com.
Swapping out your tires, there's nothing like it. With eBay, you find the feel you're looking for. From smooth highway rides to grip for rough terrain. Get all the tires you need at prices you'll love. eBay, things people love.
Snow moves in south to north this evening. Should expect it in the city between 7 and 9 o'clock, and it snows pretty steadily through most of the overnight. It will shut off before the morning rush on Wednesday, but by that point, we'll have about 1 to 3 inches on the ground in the city. 3 to 6 if you live south of the city, low temps of 30 degrees. And after we clean off the cars, the sidewalks, the driveways, it's just a cloudy day on Wednesday. A few leftover morning flurries with a high temperature of 36. I'm meteorologist Adam Joseph with your 6 ABC forecast.
This report is sponsored by Indeed.com. When you're trying to find quality candidates, all the searching, screening, and interviewing can become a job itself. You need Indeed, the all-in-one platform that makes it easy to interview, screen, and hire quality people. Visit Indeed.com/credit.
Fox Sports Radio, The Gambler. Now, total traffic for Philadelphia.
Tuesday drive home. Things are busy on the Vine Expressway both ways. Schuylkill to 95. 95 northbound, that's heavy. 452, the Commodore Barry. Across the Raw Point Bridge. Then stopping go Penn's landing up to Bridge Street. South of 95, heavy Cottman to Bridge. Or jammed on the Schuylkill westbound University to Vine. The Boulevard to Belmont. Eastbound, so 202 to Gulf Mills. Blue Route to Belmont. And Montgomery Drive to South. Delays on the Blue Route southbound. Broomall to Media Swathmore. And northbound heavy 95 past McDade. Laura Tutela, total traffic.
This report is sponsored by Rapid Radios.
Rapid Radios are instant push-to-talk walkie-talkies offering national LTE coverage and no subscription ever. Business owners can now keep in touch with up to 200 staff members at one time. Go to rapidradios.com now for up to 60% off and free shipping.
On Saturday, February 22nd at 1:30 p.m. Eastern, it's the Pro Volleyball Federation's first All-Star match. The league's biggest stars will clash in a can't-miss event hosted in the Indy metro area, home of the Indy Ignite. Catch every serve, spike, and save live on CBS. Don't miss this historic showdown of volleyball's finest. The Pro Volleyball Federation All-Star Match on February 22nd at 1:30 p.m. Be there.
Hey, Sean Brace here. Now, when you shop local, you're not just making a purchase, you're making a difference. Gerhardt's Appliances, they've been serving our community for over 80 years, supporting the neighborhoods we call home. Instead of sending your hard-earned money to a national chain, support the home team at Gerhardt's, proudly serving all of Philadelphia, Glenside, Doylestown, Malvern, Ardmore, and beyond with top-quality appliances and unbeatable local service. Shop smart, shop local, shop at Gerhardt's. Visit Gerhardt'sAppliance.com or visit any of their 6 locations.
We rely on our cars a lot, but maintenance or breakdowns shouldn't slow us down. Say hello to Cruisin', your complete car care solution. Download the Cruisin' app to quickly order roadside assistance for flats, jump starts, lockouts, and more. You can even request mobile oil changes and car detailing, all from a peer-to-peer network of trusted help. Download the Cruisin' app and discover car care redefined. Go to CRUZENapp.com. Cruisin', complete auto care at your fingertips.
Spring forward with real unlimited data from Straight Talk this tax season and get a free Samsung Galaxy A16 5G or Moto G Power 5G 2024 with select plans. So you can stream games during Mad March hours, check the weather for April showers, and watch gardening videos about May flowers. Straight Talk, real unlimited data, available at Walmart and straighttalk.com. Offer valid through 4/15/25. Taxes and fees apply. Requires purchase of single line gold unlimited plan or higher. For network management practices, visit straighttalk.com.
Oh, could this vintage store be any cuter?
Right? And the best part, they accept Discover.
Accept Discover? In a little place like this? I don't think so, Jennifer.
Oh, yeah, huh? Discover's accepted where I like to shop. Come on, baby, get with the times.
Right. So we shouldn't get the parachute pants?
These are making a comeback. I think.
Discover is accepted at 99% of places that take credit cards nationwide. Based on the February 2024 Nielsen report.
When it comes to protecting my family's future, I want a life insurance company that's at the top of their game. That's why I got same-day coverage through Ethos. There was no paperwork, no waiting around, and no medical exam. I just answered a few health questions online, and Ethos set me up with a $3 million policy for about $2 a day. Go to tryethos.com and get it done today. That's TRYETHOS.com. TRYETHOS.com. Sample rates as a 10-year term life policy for 35-year-old healthy non-smoking male. Billed monthly.
Your home for Villanova basketball is WDAS and WD273D, Fox Sports Radio Philadelphia. Now, your chance to win $1,000. Just enter this nationwide keyword on our website. Check. That's check. Enter it now.
FoxPHLGambler.com. Once again, FoxPHLGambler.com right now.
He's busting. He's looking. It's intercepted. It's intercepted. Running with the football to the 25. Down the short side is the team. And the team is in for a touchdown. Happy birthday, Cooper DeSheen. Cooper DeSheen with a pick for a touchdown. A pick six in the Super Bowl on your birthday.
Yeah, I think Cooper DeJean probably had himself a pretty good birthday down there on Bourbon Street. Hell of a way to celebrate. First interception, pick six against Patrick Mahomes in a Super Bowl with everybody in America watching. How many millions of people? And then we got the number, 136 we peaked at. Incredible. Gets no bigger than the Super Bowl. Good afternoon, everybody. Daily Ticket with you here. Good evening as we are entering the 5 o'clock hour. Mark Henry Jr. will be joining me in just a second, efforting him at this point in time. We do have a lot to get to and already a lot discussed. So feel free to jump in on any of the topics that we opened up with. First and foremost, the parade was moved. Yeah, it was originally scheduled for Thursday, as you heard with our weather reports from the great folks over at 6ABC. Whether it was specific to Wednesday's weather or were they talking about things happening on Thursday last week before the Super Bowl, the parade was tentatively scheduled for Thursday. And nobody's going to talk too much about that because you don't want to jinx anything. Understood. But we knew that when the weather came out, that there was a potential for snow. This was last weekend to where we're at right now, Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday. They said, let's go ahead and move it. I thought there was a chance that they could bump it up to Tuesday today. Instead, they're bumping it back, and now it's Friday, Valentine's Day. How about that, sports fans? So we opened up with the conversation of, with your significant other, if you had resis, if you had a reservation to that restaurant, are you double dipping? Are you saying, no, we got to do the parade? We're not trying to put a cap on what we're doing here on our Super Bowl parade festivities. The celebrations will be going on and on from the morning into the late hours of the evening. And I'm just curious, from a relationship standpoint, what are you doing? Are you bumping them? Are you keeping them? Are you skipping the parade? I am a little, look, I am in the spot of, I have a 5-year-old and I have a pregnant wife of 6 months at this point in time. So she's not all hell bent being down there. I am also going to be working. So I said, I really can't take my daughter solo. So we're still trying to work through those little issues at this point in time. I did want to bring her down. It's her first parade in some capacity, but I do know that there are plenty of friends getting together, having people over to their house to celebrate the parade. So I think in my mind, that's just as good. And look, at the end of the day, we all wish we could be at every game, every rally, every spot that the Eagles are going to be in for the next couple of days, but that's not possible because we do have a life to live. So we'll see what happens there. That's my personal life, a little bit out there for you. And love to hear from you folks. What do you plan on doing as far as Parade Friday is concerned? All right. We did talk a little bit about the autopsy, and, I didn't get an opportunity to dive too much into this. Was going to do that with Mark, who's going to join me in a little bit here. But when did you know that the game was over? What was the play that stood out to you if thinking back on it? Yesterday, we talked about what's the play that you will remember, this run from, whether it was Saquon Barkley, the first carry against the Commanders, whether it was the Jalen Carter sack or the breakup against Stafford at the end there, or Saquon to the house in the Rams game, or does it have to come from the Super Bowl? Because I don't necessarily think it does. I do believe if you were to pin me down and give you a list of the top plays from the 2017 run, I would have to put a Super Bowl play above the NFC Championship game pick 6 with P-Rob to the house. But it was an unbelievable play, and it was a play that I will think of when I look back at the 2017 run of the Philadelphia Eagles. Of course, you had the Brandon Graham strip sack. We talked a little bit about that, the Philly special. There's a lot to choose from. But from the Super Bowl game on Sunday and the Eagles games leading up to that, what's the one play that you will remember the run from? If you ask me at this point in time, that Commanders run, you just knew it was over. Like, once he broke that to the house, that game was done. So it's hard for me to pass up on that one. Again, though, I have to go to the Super Bowl. So what's the big play from the Super Bowl that you were always going to look back on? I know some people were definitely talking about the DeJean pick 6, and I think that was when we were all like, okay, this game is over. That, at least for me, that was when I said, yeah, the Eagles aren't losing this game. Now, you understand who's at the other side, and that's Mahomes and X, Y, and Z. You got to be careful about that. But ultimately, once that went down, there was nothing in my mind that was saying, yeah, they're going to lose this game. That was it. It was, what are we doing to celebrate? What are we doing as a station? That's where my mind immediately flipped the switch and started talking about what's coming up next versus that game in general. So I understand if you want to go ahead and circle the Cooper DeJean pick 6, take him to the house. It was pretty damn special, but I'm still leaning towards, I'm still going with the Devontae Smith up 27-0 and Devontae getting the opportunity to run straight fly route to the end zone, getting a step on his man, and the throw just being on the money. This, I'm going to play you 2 calls to this. This is the national call. This is from television. Here's how it sounded.
From the Kansas City Fort.
Son of a gun. I played the wrong one. That's Harlan on the radio call, the national radio call from Westwood One. But it's still pretty darn good. It's Kevin Harlan.
From the Kansas City 46, Eagles take over 1st and 10. The shotgun snap, the fake hand up. And Hurts drops back 5, winds up, one arching pass. Down the middle. It's caught over the shoulder in the end zone. Touchdown, Smith. And that may make it insurmountable.
Oh, yeah.
46-yard touchdown strike. 33-0 Eagles.
The best in the game. I don't even know who's number 2, but Kevin Harlan is the best play-by-play. No matter the sport, he is so good at what he does. The defining, you close your eyes and he takes you right there. And he knows how to do sports. He knows how to do television. He knows how to do basketball. He knows how to do football. He is a pro's pro and then some. He is the best in the business, and I've been saying that for a long time. This is 2 decades ago where I was talking about him doing Monday Night Football, and it's my favorite broadcast. My favorite Monday Night Football game broadcast was Harlan and Boomer Esiason on the call. I had to listen to that on radio. That's how good those two were in the booth, and it all started with Kevin Harlan. No disrespect to Booms on that one. All right, here we go. This one hit for us here yesterday inside the studio, and it's the Kansas City Chief announcer. We had some fun at his expense, but this is when he knew that the game was over and there was nothing, not a damn thing the Kansas City Chiefs could do to start a comeback after this touchdown toss from Jalen Hurts to Devontae Smith. Have a listen.
So the Eagles leading 27-0 have good field position at the Kansas City 46-yard line. Hurts will fake to Barkley, wants to throw. He's throwing deep. Going down the center of the field. The pass is going to be caught for a touchdown. Philadelphia burning Jalen Watson, Devontae Smith. A 46-yard TD. The Eagles go for the jugular, and they found it.
Oh, he's passing. And the Eagles go for the jugular, and they found it. Yep. Somebody called 911. The victim is bleeding profusely. Oh, my goodness. It's over. Birds. Super Bowl 59 champions. Incredible. And, look, at the end of the day, that was all she wrote, 34-0. We talked a little bit about how you're going to look back at this game and will you include the 2 touchdowns thrown by Mahomes. I put something out on the timeline where I said 40-6. Now, I wasn't saying that was the final score, but some idiot, some yam, you know how they always are on the timeline. God bless them. That wasn't the final score, man. 40-22 is the final score. It's like, yeah, but my point is, like, I'm going to look at, and 40-6 might not be the right way to look at the game. It might be 34-0. 34-0. And this game was on, it was in a different continent. It was in a different stratosphere. You see Starlink, we send that satellite up there with the lights. Like this game was up there on Sunday. When the Chiefs got the ball for the 10th time after that touchdown, where they trailed 34-0, the Philadelphia Eagles had 299 total yards on offense to the Kansas City Chiefs 65. That's passing and rushing. 65 yards. The Eagles had 18 first downs to the Chiefs 3. That's legendary. That's like, dude, you ain't on our level. See ya. 18-3 first downs. It was 13-1.5 as far as first downs are concerned. Insane to look at it like that. And that's why I choose to do so. Now, they did score 2 touchdowns, and you can't discount that. And I get it. It's Mahomes, and they were nice throws. But it was clearly a much different ball game from the defensive approach to a point. They didn't still blitz. And you just don't know where everybody's head was at when you have a 34-0 lead. Again, the one play, I don't know who the defender was for the Eagles, but you could see it was almost like, I'm not going to get a pass interference call. If he makes the catch, so what? But I'm not going to swipe at him. And he just brutally, that's somewhat into play here. Again, nobody cares about these sort of things except for us because we're sickos. But that's how I choose to look at that game. as far as that is concerned. Again, 34-0. And I do want to do this because I meant to do it with Luke, but let's just real quick have a look at this box score as a whole, because it's insane, even after it was all said and done. First and foremost, total plays, even with the 2 touchdowns for the Kansas City Chiefs in that second half, they only ran 49 total plays. 49 total plays to the Eagles 70. As far as time of possession, it was 36-23. We went down the play-by-play from the look as far as the drives are concerned. And it's just so tough because, like, you look at what why is it doing that? All plays. Here we go. You go 4 plays, punt, 3 plays, 3 and out. These are the Kansas City Chiefs here in the first half. So it's 4 plays, punt, 3 plays, punt, 3 plays, punt, interception after 3 plays, 3 plays, punt, interception after 1 play, 3 plays, punt. That was the first half. Second half, they open up everything, all hands on deck, or else this game is over, which it already was. First drive, 5 plays, 15 yards. 5 plays, turnover on downs. Then they got their touchdown. Then they fumbled. Then they got another touchdown. Then they got another touchdown. It would have been nice if they did not give up that final touchdown on that heave, that 50-yard bomb. So if the final score could have been 40, did they go for 2 on that one? Oh, attempt did succeed. So they were able to get 8 on that one. So that would have been 14. So it would have been 40-14. 40-14. That definitely hits a little bit different than 40-22, right? 40-14 looks better on a t-shirt than 40-22. Damn. He's Mahomes, though. It was good throws. I did see somebody what guy did I follow too? Trevor Sikkema or whatever. He's a NFL draft guy too. And he was giving props on that throw. It's like, I just don't know what goes through people's brains to give props when the game is clearly in hand and half the people aren't playing like, look, it's the Super Bowl. They're going out there and they're competing and they want to make the plays. But I just felt like from the aggressive nature and whether or not you're going to get handsy or really get in there, I didn't think that they were that too over the top and did not want to extend a drive via a penalty or give up points because of a penalty, anything along those lines, which is the right way to go about it. Keep the clock going and end the game. Still, though, I digress. We're nitpicking here. Bottom line is it was an ass kicking for the world to see. That box score is a thing of beauty, man. Just go ahead and cut it up and print it out and put that on a t-shirt. All right. Efforting Mark Henry Jr., who I would imagine got called into work, which I wanted to open up with Mark, and specifically Mark is a draft nerd. He's a draft nut. And he does it all. He's also hot in hoops. So I really wanted to talk a little bit about college and NBA with him as far as plays are concerned for tonight. But the NFL draft, I heard it talked about for the first time on my ride in, and they weren't talking about the Philadelphia Eagles in that manner. No, definitely not. It was, what are the Tennessee Titans going to do at number 1 overall, which is something that will be discussed ad nauseum over the next 2 months, right? The NFL draft is until April. I assume that they're going to take Travis Hunter. I don't think that they will be in the market for Shador or Cam. I could be mistaken at that point in time. Travis seems to be a guy that, would light it up down there. I think Abdul Carter is absolutely in play as well. If you had to pin me down, I just don't see the Tennessee Titans saying, you know what, we're going to take Cam or Shador at number 1 overall. Could be a mistake. just doesn't strike me on that one. If it is one of the two, I've always said that I thought Cam Ward would be the number one overall or the first quarterback selected. Number one overall could very well take place. I think it would be in the Tennessee Titans' interest to trade, to give up that spot, let somebody get the quarterback, whoever it may be. But that's where my money is at this point in time. Field Yates is in agreement with me as well from NFL or from ESPN.com. He released his first mock draft. I'll give you the top 5. Travis Hunter to the Tennessee Titans, Abdul Carter from Penn State to the Cleveland Browns. Cam Ward falls to the New York Giants. Will Campbell, offensive tackle to the Patriots, and Mason Graham, defensive tackle out of Michigan to Jacksonville. I'll give you the quarterback after that, Shedeur Sanders to Vegas, which does seem to make sense with Brady and Shedeur going there. I think that would be a good match, good spot for him with Pete Carroll as the head coach. Hopefully that will be the case because you need the right people in place to have a successful rookie quarterback that needs work, that needs help. Shedeur is not perfect. Is he athletic? Does he have the arm? Does he have the head? All of the above, yes. Worthy of that top 5, top 6, top 10 spot, top 10 draft pick? Absolutely. I think Pete Carroll would be a good head coach to have him in there. Of course, Brady in the front office, they text all the time. They already had that relationship. I think that would be a great spot for Shedeur Sanders. Michael Williams out of Georgia. He was big in their run. The Jets have him going at 7. Jalen Walker, linebacker out of Georgia, going 8 to Carolina. Number 9, they got McMillan, wide receiver out of Arizona, going to the Saints. And then an offensive tackle from Texas, Kelvin Banks Jr., going to the Chicago Bears. Do you want to know who the Philadelphia Eagles are taking with number 32 overall? Jahad Campbell, linebacker out of Alabama. We'll see what happens with Zach Bond. If that's the case, of course, Nakobe Dean did have an injury to the patellar tendon. So he should be back, but I'm sure he's going to be working through some things. So, yeah, you might want to spend that number 32 overall draft pick on a linebacker. I think that would make a ton of sense. And, doesn't it seem like the Kansas City Chiefs always hit on that draft pick or always found value, found a way to get involved with the draft at number 32 overall, right? So hopefully that Howie Roseman, the god that he is, can do exactly that as well. All right. So as I said, efforting Mark Henry Jr., I wanted to talk a little bit about the NFL draft. We'll see if he can hop on here in just a second. On the other side, though, I do want to mix this up. We got 4 games in the NBA. The debut of Luka Doncic with the LA Lakers. He went 14, 5 rebounds, 4 assists in the debut as the Lakers rolled over to Utah Jazz 132-113. No surprise there. We do have the NBA All-Star Weekend that's fast approaching. It's happening this weekend. So games will wrap up in the NBA on Thursday. Sixers are going back-to-back today and tonight or tomorrow. Tonight at home against Toronto. Tomorrow on the road against Brooklyn. Joel Embiid is questionable. We should have a little bit more answer on whether or not he will play. Sean Barnard and I discussed what the hell is going on with the 76ers approach and how they're getting it wrong yet again with Joel Embiid and his health. But again, we'll see what happens there. And from the association with the 4 games, we'll see if we can pick a winner or 2. But with the NBA All-Star Game approaching, I want to talk a little bit about the 3-point contest and who the hell's in the dunk contest this year as well. Out in the Bay, busy year for the Bay. They got the All-Star Game, and then they get the Super Bowl next year. It's the Daily Ticket. Don't go into more after this.
Fox Sports Radio, The Gambler. Now, total traffic for Philadelphia.
Take it easy out there, depending where you are. We're already seeing snowflakes coming down. We had a disabled vehicle, 95 northbound, approaching Bridge Street. It's gone, but traffic is bumper to bumper. Penn's Landing all the way up past the Betsy Ross. South of 95, heavy Cotman to Bridge. We're down to the Schuylkill westbound, University to Girard and Boulevard to Belmont eastbound. Stop and go Blue Route to Belmont, Montgomery Drive to south. Blue Route southbound, heavy Broomall to Media Swarthmore and northbound. So 95 past McDade, 42 south. That's slow. While Whipping Creek Road. All right, to tell the total traffic.
This report is sponsored by Lowe's. Lowe's knows that with job site delivery as soon as same day, you can get what you need without losing valuable time. They help, you save. Valid on eligible in-stock orders and select zip codes for same-day delivery. Subject to driver availability. Fees vary based on purchase. More terms apply. See lowes.com/same-day delivery for details.
On Saturday, February 22nd at 1:30 p.m. Eastern, It's the Pro Volleyball Federation's first All-Star match. The league's biggest stars will clash in a can't-miss event hosting the Indy metro area, home of the Indy Ignite. Catch every serve, spike, and save live on CBS. Don't miss this historic showdown of volleyball's finest. The Pro Volleyball Federation All-Star Match on February 22nd at 1:30 p.m. Be there.
Hey, Sean Brace here. Now, when you shop local, you're not just making a purchase, you're making a difference. Gerhardt's Appliances, they've been serving our community for over 80 years, supporting the neighborhoods we call home. Instead of sending your hard-earned money to a national chain, support the home team at Gerhardt's, proudly serving all of Philadelphia, Glenside, Doylestown, Malvern, Ardmore, and beyond with top-quality appliances and unbeatable local service. Shop smart, shop local, shop at Gerhardt's. Visit Gerhardt'sAppliance.com or visit any of their 6 locations.
Hi, I'm Jenna Fisher. A little over a year ago, during a routine mammogram and ultrasound, I was diagnosed with triple-positive breast cancer. Caught early, many common cancers have survival rates well over 90%. The Screening Time Off program encourages employees to take time to step out for screenings. Be the world's best boss. Join Screening Time Off. Learn more and sign up at workingwithcancerpledge.com.
There she is, founder and CEO. High five.
Dave can't stop celebrating with every business owner in town.
All right, Baker Man, high five.
He's sharing the excitement of big savings with the Comcast Business 5-year price lock guarantee.
Up top, Bike Shop. Yeah.
It's 5 years of gig speed internet,
Quick, high five.
5 years of advanced security,
5 years.
and 5 years of a great rate that won't change.
Yeah, law partners. Chamberlain, Messethorpe, Dubois.
All from the company with 99.9% network reliability. Switch today and get the 5-year price lock guarantee.
5 years.
It's back, but only for a limited time.
Woo!
Powering 5 years of savings, powering possibilities. Comcast Business.
Can't forget you, voiceover guy.
Ah, thanks, Dave.
High five.
Ends 3/9/25. Guaranteed rate applies to monthly service charge for new customers on qualifying internet bundle, excluding taxes and fees. Other restrictions apply.
These days, it feels like everyone is talking about how the American dream of homeownership has become out of reach for so many of us. Well, Rocket is trying to give us more of a chance to own our homes. They're making homeownership simpler and more accessible to more people, turning renters into owners. Rocket believes that every one of us deserves a shot at the American dream. So, are you ready? Own the dream. Visit rocket.com. That's rocket.com.
Hey, man, you all right? Need me to call 911? No, call Top Dog Law. Get top dollar for your accident at topdoglaw.com. Once again, that's topdoglaw.com.
In a world where every second counts,
bird flu is spreading nationwide, driving up egg prices.
iHeartRadio has one podcast that keeps you informed. 24/7 News. The latest. Today's latest news every hour in just 4 minutes.
Rex Heuermann's case is being adjourned again.
Be the first to know.
President Trump has sent a loud and clear message.
iHeartRadio's 24/7 News. The latest. Open the free iHeart app and listen now.
Hey now, coming down the home stretch on a Tuesday. Good evening. Sean Brace with you live. I think Mark Henry Jr. is dealing with real world issues in the workforce. So maybe we'll be able to get Mark on. I am recording tomorrow. We have a Villanova game that will be tipping off early at 5:30, taking on St. John's. The Giannis coming to the mainland, Ricky and company, and I will be in attendance heading to that game. So tomorrow we will be recording from home, back live Thursday, and then Friday still up. I don't know where we will be, but we're going to be doing a lot, including a possibility of a date night double header. So we will be out and about as the Gambler Gang likes to do. Keep you posted on everything over on our socials at Fox PHL. Gambler at Fox PHL Gambler. All right, let's hit the timeline and check out what the 76ers are saying about Joel Embiid's health right now. I get it. Nobody really wants to talk about the 76ers, all things Super Bowl. We'll get back to the Super Bowl in just a second. But Embiid was listed as questionable. Not seeing if he's not in just yet. Did I misspell it? No. Again, it's the worst thing. You got to go to Twitter just to find this stuff, but that's just how it works. Anyways, we'll see what happens there. Now, Sean Barnard joined me a little earlier today. We talked about what Joel Embiid said to Lisa Salters on Sunday with the broadcast against the Milwaukee Bucks, where he said, yep, I'm going to have to go for another surgery and probably going to be out for a long time, and that is going to fix my knee. And the fact that the 76ers are still playing him, if he's telling Lisa Salters that, then that's obviously something that is being discussed behind the scenes. Joel Embiid is not going to just put that out there, probably should not have put that out there, but he's not making it up from thin air. It is a realistic possibility that this is what's going to happen with the big man, another knee surgery. It won't shock me, and it won't shock you. And it doesn't shock me that the Sixers are mishandling a situation with the player's health, specifically Joel Embiid, yet again. It's just so frustrating, and it's real easy to just say, this needs to happen now, because this franchise is nothing without him. You gave him a 3-year deal. You can't do anything without him. He has to be at the forefront of your plans now and in the future. It's why you wanted to give him that deal, to extend him. I get it. He wasn't hurt after the Olympics. He's 31 years old. You're not going to allow Joel Embiid to leave, but giving him a 3-year extension in September, no. I would not have signed off on that. Now, would that have created some anarchy behind the scenes of how dare you do this to Joel Embiid? He's your guy. He's been with you from the beginning. You want his jersey up in the rafters. You want to build him a statue. I get that, but sometimes you got to be the bad guy, especially in that position with the paychecks. We can look back on many, many franchises, specifically here in Philadelphia, and talk about how general managers, if they just made the difficult decision, not saying it's right, but more times than not, those difficult decisions are often swiped with a yes, and we got to keep proceeding and keep it going, and nothing's going to change with the hopes of this is going to pan out. But maybe we can look back at some of these moments in franchise history, whether it be the Phillies, the Sixers, the Eagles, or your favorite team, and say, well, what if they didn't re-sign that player? What if they said, you know what? Thanks, but it's professional sports and it's time to move on. We got the most out of you. We squeezed the most juice out of that berry. I know that we would all be in agreement at this point in time, right? And I love JoJo. I feel like that we have to put a caveat in everything anymore because everyone thinks you just rip everything. Love Joel Embiid. But, man, all those doctors' reports, all those surgeries, everything that's been, he's been dealing with over the years, and you say, you know what, let's give him another 3-year extension, $193 million. Yeah, I don't think there's too many people out there that think this is going to work out in the long run. But why wait? Right here, right now, this team, this season has been a disaster. Pull the plug on Joel Embiid. If surgery is even a question to repair that knee, he does not need to be playing another minute this season. Because you look at it, regardless of if he gets it or not, he's still going to miss time next year. Like right here, right now, he's going to miss time next year. And the Sixers are like, nah, we're hoping to get him to play him. It's like, what are we doing? Ooh, excuse me as I sneeze behind the scenes. Fighting it. Anyways, that is one that is on the timeline. And I don't even have the energy to argue about Joel Embiid. I really don't. On Sunday when that report came out, we put a text out into the Gambler Gang chat, and everybody's like, dude, no, not today. Like, not today. It's Super Bowl Sunday. I don't want to hear about Joel Embiid and his health because nothing has changed. It's the same old song and dance. The guy is an incredible player, but will never be 100% with the 76ers ever again. Even if he gets the surgery. That's me pretending to be a doctor, so who knows? So frustrating. And then you flip on the NBA and they're talking about that. And it's just like, dude, all right, whatever. Anyways, Sixers back in action tonight, though. It seems like Joel Embiid is playing. 9.5 is our number. 224.5 is our total on that one. They got the Raptors at home, 7:10 p.m. Be careful if you're going to the game, as I tip my cap to you. Nice work on that one. But it is starting to snow, I believe, and we are supposed to get snow throughout the course of the night. Man, it might be an empty building down there for the Sixers and the Raptors. Knicks and Pacers going at it head-to-head. Game is being played in Indiana. That's a 2.5-point spread for the New York Knicks, 7:40 tip. Detroit and Chicago. Pistons, 4.5-point road favorites on the road in Chicago, 8:10 tip. And then the Grizzly and the Phoenix Suns, who have been probably one of the biggest disappointments. No, probably one of the biggest disappointments. Absolutely. They might be the biggest disappointment this season, Phoenix Suns. It's them in Minnesota for my money. Right here, right now. Am I forgetting anybody? No. Those two franchises have been huge disappointments this season. So Phoenix, 4.5-point dogs at home. 246 is our total in that one. Does anybody play defense in the association? All right. Back over to the Super Bowl real quick, if we could. Mr. T checking in. I pity the fool that did not believe in Jalen Hurts. No, he didn't say that, but I did. Mr. T tweets the following. I am so happy and proud of Jalen Hurts. I watched him in Alabama and Oklahoma. He didn't quit, never gave up. He silenced the critics and doubters. Yeah, how do you like me now? True story. I dressed up as Mr. T for Halloween back in, no blackface, don't get it twisted. Back in, wow, it's probably like 9. That house, was that the Scranton house? I think that was the Scranton house. Probably 9 years old. So 1990, 1989. And the reason why I was Mr. T, point blank, was because we had these curtains. And my mom had these huge metal chains that held the curtains. You know what I mean? You pull them to the side. And those metal chains, I would walk around the house wearing them. And then I was like, yeah, I'm going to dress up as Mr. T for Halloween because of the curtains had chains. How stupid is that? Yes. How about that? All right. Also, I wanted to read this. And it's a bad job I made because I did not get the outlet. So let me look this up real quick. Mr. Matt Paras. He is an author. Is he local or is he New Orleans? I think he's New Orleans. All right, yes, New Orleans. He is the New Orleans Saints beat reporter for the Times-Picayune and the Advocate. Matt Paras, Matthew _Paras. He writes the following. We're recapping and looking back at the Super Bowl and the autopsy of what made a blowout. And I have had some fun on my timeline talking about the turning point of the game. If you tuned in yesterday, it was one of my favorite shows, if not my favorite show ever. And the turning point of the game, for my money, was when Bradley Cooper introduced the Philadelphia Eagles onto the field.
All right, from the city of brotherly love, your 2024 NFC champions, the
Serious pop. Matt writes the following. Super Bowls aren't supposed to sound like this. They aren't supposed to sound like a home game in South Philadelphia. Team chants and theme songs aren't supposed to reverberate from the walls and acoustics of the stadium. Super Bowl crowds are usually made up of corporate bigwigs and celebrities. They typically have little tolerance for fandom and passion. But inside the Caesars Superdome, home of Sunday's Super Bowl 59, the Eagles' sound could not be denied. They had plenty of reasons to celebrate. On the field, where confetti showered soon after the clock hit 0, the Eagles delivered a dominant performance. The Eagles emphatically denied the Kansas City Chiefs' attempt at a three-peat with a stunning 40-22 victory, delivering a masterclass of defensive performance that will likely be remembered for years to come. Incredible. And I thought that was well written by Matt, because he's a guy that's been in that dome, has probably seen a big game or two inside that dome, and it stood out to him. I don't know who would disagree with it, because it was very evident that was a home game from the beginning. Hell, riding into that game, all you did was see nothing but Eagles fans in the timeline. And you have to be cautious, because, yes, we are surrounded by Eagles fans. We follow nothing but Eagles fans in our timeline. So that's obvious. We're going to see anybody and everybody there. I don't have friends from Kansas City. I got one friend that's a Chiefs fan. He's from Scranton. Love my boy JC. Yeah, he's not the biggest diehard sports fan, but he picked the Chiefs a few years ago. Reed rolls in. He's a fan. He gets Mahomes, and now he's a diehard Chiefs fan. Good for him. He enjoys those games. Love him. But I don't know too many Chiefs fans, except for Gracie Hunt, that was at the game. And my point is, on the timeline, we saw nothing but Eagles fans being down there, but I didn't see many Chiefs fans that were down there. All the video footage, nothing but green, Eagles, fly, the EAGLES chants, everything. You heard it all week long leading up. You knew that it was a home game. You knew it was 85-15. It didn't really hit me to the day of that I thought would maybe have an effect on the game. But at the same time, it's Patrick Mahomes and Andy Reid and Steve Spagnuolo and the players. Like, they're not rattled. This isn't the first time that they've went into a tough environment. But my theory was that if things got ugly and lopsided, that would only add. That would only make life more difficult for the Chiefs to bounce back, as you are out there getting your ass kicked and you're looking around going, man, we're getting blown out. We're getting booed. I can't do anything right. We're dropping the ball. They're hating on Taylor Swift. Which is I see people are like upset that Paige Sporonic, or whatever her name is, the golf influencer, as she does a great job influencing. She's like, oh, Taylor Swift does so much for the NFL. How could you boo her? She was there as a fan of the Kansas City Chiefs, and you heard how many Eagles fans were in attendance. So if she gets put on the Jumbotron, she's going to get booed. Trust me. If Nick Sirianni's mother was a Chiefs fan and they put her on the Jumbotron, the Eagles fans would have booed her too. Like, that's how it works. It had nothing to do with her political stance, had nothing to do with hatred of Taylor Swift. Oh my God. No, it had nothing to do with that. It was a simple fact that she was a sports fan of the Kansas City Chiefs, cheering on Travis Kelce and the Chiefs, hoping that they would find a way to win that game. And when she was featured on the Jumbotron, Eagles fans let her have it. That's it. We're a very simple fan base, man. We don't make things complicated. Seeing these things on the timeline. The dumbest things people talk about. Saw another one that was out there. Terry Bradshaw. How people were upset that Terry Bradshaw used the word boy when he was talking about himself. Now, this was a good one because there were only a few people that were just morons and can't comprehend, the language and what the storytelling part of being a guy on television is. Not like that Taylor Swift. That Taylor Swift took on a life of its own. Just ridiculous. Those Swifties are crazy. But Terry Bradshaw was in the post-game show, and he spoke from experience as he was a Pittsburgh Steelers quarterback, I believe 4 Super Bowls, if I'm not mistaken, 1 with the blonde bomber. And Bradshaw wasn't always the greatest quarterback, the flashiest quarterback, but they had a great team. So there's similarities there from the way people talk about Bradshaw or how they spoke about Bradshaw back in those days versus what Jalen Hurts will have to deal with in Bradshaw's mind. And in that postgame show, he said, you won one, Jalen, but just so you know, they're going to be like, hey, that Terry, hey, that boy, you got us one. Now you better get us another one or you're going to be out of here. And he was saying it from the standpoint of how Pittsburgh Steelers fans said it to him. The clip is out there. You can judge for yourself, but I'm telling you how it played out. And everyone's like, you can't say the boy. Blah, blah, blah. You know, I got news for you. I say boy about everybody. Cooper DeJean, that boy bad. That boy good. Like, the boy does not have anything as far as color is concerned in my mind. Now, there are people out there that, of course, will use that, and we understand that it's not coming from anything other than the world of being negative and being disrespectful. Understood. But just because you use that word does not mean it means 100% that. No. I've always said, that boy bad. That boy good. That boy is something. Bradshaw was telling a story, and he got destroyed on the timeline. I'm just like, all right. The timeline is crazy. We know that. I don't have to tell you anything you don't know. Obviously, we are well aware of what's said and the things people do to get clicks, to get views, and who knows what's real, what's not. All right, what's real is the Philadelphia Eagles are your Super Bowl champions. What's real is Mark Henry Jr. didn't join me in the 5 o'clock hour. Hopefully he's okay. Yeah, no text message. Yeah, all right. We'll get Mark back on because next couple days we're going to be busy. So here's the deal. Tomorrow, recording, going to have a fresh new daily ticket for you at 3 o'clock. We'll be lumping in some other odds and ends and, of course, getting you right up to Villanova basketball coming your way at 5:30. They're taking on the Johnnies. St. John's on the main line. I'll be in the building. Myself, Beef, Tubbsy, ready to go. Tarps off. Look for us. Special thank you, Luke Arcaini. Special thank you, Sean Barnard. Special thank you, Mark Henry Jr., even though you didn't join me. That's all right. I appreciate him. Love him. We'll get into the NFL draft conversation a little bit over these next couple days. But we got to get it over to the hardwood, man. We got to start talking a little bit more about these plays in the NBA and college hoops. College hoops has gotten my attention a hell of a lot more than the NBA so far this season. If you're not there with me on that one, we'll see if we can put our brains together and come up with some great conversation with both the NBA and college hoops. But I can't wait as conference championships will be fast approaching, coming down the home stretch of the regular season. And, of course, March Madness well on its way, coming up here in a couple weeks. Let's see here. Back and live on Thursday, and then Friday we got the parade, so a lot to do. Appreciate it as always. Give us a follow at Fox PHL Gambler. Fox Sports Radio out in LA is next. Talk to you tomorrow. Peace.